Hello, everyone, and welcome to the place where shadows whisper and nightmares softly breathe. So close your eyes, take a slow breath. I know you use this video to fall asleep, so before that, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, where you from and what time are you watching? Let's get comfortable and relax. I was always told there was something wrong with me, something that didn't quite fit into the world, and that was fine. At least, I told myself it was. But there's a difference between being aware of something strange and living it, truly feeling it, each day like an unwelcome guest who never leaves. That's how I feel now, as if I'm being haunted by something that might have been me or still is. I'm not sure anymore that it started with a simple thing, something so small it might seem trivial now, but that was how it always was with me, the little things. I don't remember the first time I noticed it, but I do remember how it felt when the shadows seemed to stretch just a little too far at night, how the air around me thickened with an unnatural weight, like the atmosphere itself knew something I didn't. There was this house. Not my house, not the one I grew up in, but a place I visited often as a child. I don't remember why I started going there. Maybe it was the sense of familiarity, like stepping into a memory that wasn't mine. The house was old, forgotten, abandoned by everyone except me. My parents never questioned where I went. They were too busy with their own lives, and so I would slip away, drawn to that place where time seemed to stand still. The floors creaked underfoot, the walls were suffocated by dust, and the windows were boarded up, but there was always this sense that I was welcome, that something awaited me there at first. I would simply sit in the empty rooms, watching the sunlight fight its way through cracks in the wood, bathing the furniture in the dull, golden glow of a forgotten era. It wasn't until later that I began to hear the whispers. They started faint, just beyond the edge of my hearing, as if the house itself was speaking in its sleep, murmuring things that didn't quite make sense. I would strain to listen, but when I focused, the sound would fade, leaving behind only a heavy silence. But then it began to grow louder. Sometimes, I'd wake up in the middle of the night, my skin cold with sweat, and hear it clearly, voices in the dark calling my name. They were never familiar voices, at least not anyone I knew, but they were always soft, coaxing, urging me to listen, to pay attention. I would shake my head, dismissing it as my imagination, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone, and yet, I continued to go back. I couldn't stop myself. Maybe it was curiosity, maybe it was the undeniable need to understand what was happening. Every time I stepped into that house, I felt something shift, as though the very air around me had a presence, an intelligence that was far older than anything I could comprehend. Something alive. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like the walls were breathing, like the house was alive. One day, after what felt like an eternity of visits, I decided to explore the attic. It was a place I had always avoided, too much dust, too much darkness. But something told me that this time, it would be different. I climbed the rickety stairs, each step creaking under my weight, and pushed open the attic door. The room beyond was cloaked in shadow, but there was something in the center of the room that caught my eye. A mirror. It stood tall, framed in dark wood, reflecting nothing but blackness. I don't know why I approached it. Maybe it was the way it seemed to pulse, beckoning me forward, or maybe it was the whispers, now louder than ever, urging me to look. That I stood before the mirror for what felt like hours, unable to tear my gaze away. The surface of the glass rippled like water, as though it were not a mirror at all, but some kind of portal, a gateway to something just out of reach. Then I saw it, not in the reflection, but in the room behind me. A shape, thin, tall, like a man but not a man. Its features were obscured by shadow, but I could see its eyes, pale, wide, hollow, and they were locked on me, staring with a hunger that made my stomach turn. That I don't know how long I stood there, frozen in place, too terrified to move, too terrified to scream. The thing didn't move, but it didn't need to. It was there, just beyond the edges of my vision, waiting, and I, like a fool, just stared into the mirror, unable to look away. The air grew colder, thicker, and the whispers became a chant, a low, rhythmic murmur that filled my head, drowning out everything else. It wasn't until I reached out to touch the mirror that I felt it, the coldness of its surface, the way it seemed to suck the warmth from my fingertips, as though it were absorbing me, pulling me in. I snapped my hand back, but it was too late. The thing in the shadows moved. I ran, heart pounding, feet stumbling over the floorboards, not daring to look behind me, knowing that whatever it was closer now. But when I reached the door, it wouldn't open. It was as if the house itself had trapped me inside, locking me in with whatever was waiting in the dark. The whispering grew louder, louder still, until it was all I could hear, filling my mind with thoughts that weren't my own. They twisted, pulled, screamed at me to let go, to give in to. I don't know how I managed to escape that night. I can't remember how I got out of the house, or if I even left at all. Sometimes, when I look in the mirror, I see it again, the pale eyes, the hunger. And sometimes, I swear I hear the whispering, even in the quietest of rooms. It's not a voice anymore. It's a presence, waiting. The worst part is, I'm starting to think that maybe it wasn't the house. Maybe it was always me. Maybe I've always been the one they were calling to, the one they were waiting for. And now I'm not sure what's real anymore. The shadows have followed me home, and I can't escape them. They're always just behind me, in the corner of my eye, in the reflection of every glass surface. And every night, I hear it again, that whispering, sometimes soft, sometimes insistent, always hungry that it's coming for me. I can feel it, and I'm not sure if I want to run anymore, because I'm starting to think maybe I've been waiting for it too. I tried to live normally after that night, tried to convince myself that I had imagined it all, that it was a fever dream brought on by stress, loneliness, isolation. I threw myself into routine like it was a religion. I worked, I smiled, I answered when spoken to. I filled every hour with noise and light just so I wouldn't have to listen to the silence. But silence doesn't care if you ignore it, it waits. And the thing inside that silence, it never stopped watching. I started avoiding mirrors. It sounds childish, doesn't it? Like something a kid would do after a scary movie. But I couldn't help it. Every time I saw my reflection, I'd catch the smallest flicker of something else behind me. Not always a figure, not always anything tangible, but a movement, a warping of the space around me. My reflection would lag behind, blink too slowly, or smile when I didn't. Once, I caught it staring at me, long after I'd turned my head. I remember standing there for 5 minutes, watching as my own face tilted to the side on its own, as if inspecting me. I didn't scream. I couldn't. I just shut the bathroom light off and walked away, leaving it there in the dark. After that, it escalated. It always does, doesn't it? First, it was small noises, the sound of footsteps on my ceiling when I lived alone on the top floor, the creak of my closet door sliding open at night despite being jammed shut for years, the quiet scratching beneath the floorboards. Then came the smell, a thick, metallic scent like rust and rotted earth. It would flood my apartment without warning, vanish just as quickly, and leave me retching. No matter how many times I cleaned, it returned. But the worst was the dreams. And I know what you're thinking, dreams can't hurt you. I used to believe that too. They began as nightmares, simple enough. Walking through the old house again, seeing the attic door ajar, hearing the whispering louder than ever. But then, I would wake up. Or, I thought I did. I'd be in my room, everything seemingly normal, until I noticed something off, a poster I never hung, a door where there shouldn't be one, or a shadow on the ceiling that pulsed and moved. I'd realize, slowly, with dread inching up my spine like frostbite, that I was still dreaming. And then it would start, the sound of breathing not my own, just inches from my face. The sensation of fingers brushing my skin when nothing was there. The whispers right next to my ear, telling me secrets I can't remember when I wake, but leave a black pit in my chest. Worse still were the dreams where I wasn't me. I'd be in the body of someone else, trapped, watching them move while I sat in the back of their mind, powerless. I'd feel them walk, breathe, blink, kill. And I knew it wasn't just dreams. Because one morning, I woke up with dirt under my nails and a bruise on my shoulder in the shape of a hand too long, too thin to be human. I started researching. Not on the internet. That never helps. I went to libraries. I found obscure forums in dead corners of the web. I visited people who called themselves mediums, witches, dreamwalkers. Most were frauds, charlatans looking for a quick buck or attention. But a few were different. One woman, an older lady in a town 2 hours away, looked at me for 5 seconds and slammed her door. She left a note under it that read, "It's wearing you." That broke me a little. Because I knew it was true. I've stopped sleeping most nights. I can't trust my body when I do. I've woken up in strange places, a subway tunnel 3 cities over, a cemetery at dawn with no memory of how I got there. Even once on the roof of a building staring down at the edge like I was deciding something. I started filming myself while I sleep. The first few nights were normal. Then, one night, I watched the footage and saw myself sit up slowly at 3:33 a.m., turn my head toward the camera, and smile, a long, crooked grin I've never made in my life. I didn't blink. I didn't breathe. I just stared into the lens for 27 minutes. And then I whispered something in a language I don't know. Before lying back down, I deleted the footage. I smashed the camera, but it doesn't matter. The thing inside me, behind me, through me, is stronger now. It's more than just a presence. It's like a mold, a rot spreading under my skin. Sometimes I feel it writhing just beneath the surface, like there's a second heartbeat, slightly out of sync with mine. I've tried everything. Exorcisms, isolation, prayers. I even went back to the house. It was gone, flattened, just an empty lot overgrown with weeds. But when I stood on the dirt where it used to be, I felt it humming below my feet, like a heartbeat in the soil. I fell to my knees and screamed until my throat tore open, but no one came. And now I think the thing is finally ready. I don't know what for. I don't know if it wants to be me or if it wants to use me as a doorway. But I've started to see the world differently. People's faces seem stretched, tired, fraying at the edges. Colors bleed together. Time skips, lurches, stutters. I'll lose hours at a time, then come to with a knife in my hand or a voice in my mouth that's not mine. It's close. I can feel it, even now, as I write this. If you're reading this, I'm sorry. I don't know what I've let in. I don't know what I've become. But I know it's not just me anymore. I know that wherever I go, I'm not alone. The thing that waited behind the mirror, the thing that learned my voice, my face, my thoughts, is here, watching, smiling. And when you look in the mirror tonight, really look. See if your reflection blinks at the wrong time. I haven't left the apartment in days, maybe longer. Time's a mess now, loops, stutters, blanks. I'll stand in the hallway, just standing, staring at nothing, and then snap. It's dark outside and I'm in a different shirt. I keep the lights on, all of them, every bulb burning 24/7. It's a fire hazard, I know, but I can't stand the dark anymore. Not even for a second. That's when it comes closest. That's when I feel its breath on the back of my neck. My friends stopped calling. Or maybe I stopped answering. I can't remember. They used to come by, knock on the door, ask if I was okay. Now they don't. And sometimes, when I think I hear them outside, their voices sound wrong, like recordings played too slow, warped through water. Once, I looked through the peephole and saw someone that looked like my friend Amy, but her mouth was hanging open wider than it should, and she was just smiling, not blinking, not breathing, just smiling. I didn't open the door. I've sealed the windows with blankets, taped the edges. No reflections, no light from outside. I caught a glimpse of myself in a spoon last week and dropped it, because my eyes in the reflection didn't blink. They widened, stretched, like they were drinking me in. My smile was still there long after I stopped smiling. It mimics me now, better every day. I hear it walking when I'm still. I hear it breathing when I hold my breath. It knows things I haven't said aloud. It answers questions I haven't asked. When I speak to myself to keep sane, I think it sometimes answers in my voice from the other side of the room. Quiet, patient, like it's learning. Last night, I found handwriting on my wall. Mine, but I didn't write it. I know I didn't. It was carved into the paint with something sharp. The words jittered and frantic like they were made by a shaking hand. You're not the one we wanted. But you opened the door. What door? When? How? I don't know. I've gone over every memory, every second in that house, trying to find the moment, the mistake. Was it the mirror? Was it when I said my own name into the attic's dark? Was it when I listened to the whispers? There are new voices now, not just the original ones. These are louder. They don't whisper anymore. They speak, laugh, argue. It sounds like they're arguing about me. Sometimes I catch words like not ready or keep feeding. Other times it's just the sound of teeth clacking together, over and over, faster and faster until I scream to drown it out. I stopped sleeping entirely. But even awake, I dream now. I'll blink and find myself in that house again. But it's not the same. It's changed. The walls are covered in skin, stitched like patchwork. The furniture moves when I'm not looking. The mirror is there, but it shows things behind me that aren't there, or not yet there. I saw myself hanging from the ceiling, smiling, swaying gently like I was enjoying the air. I saw my reflection whispering into the ear of someone sleeping, someone who looked just like me but older, maybe a future version. And that person smiled back. I think it's making copies. I think it's bleeding through me, using me like a mold, not just into this world, but into others, into you. Every time I dream, it spreads. Every time I look into a reflective surface, it gets stronger. Every time I remember something that doesn't feel like mine, I wonder if it's rewriting me, shifting me. And now I'm starting to forget things, names, my own birthday, the faces of people I loved. Yesterday, I looked at a picture of my mother and felt nothing. Not just emotional numbness, actual nothing. Like she was a stranger, like she never existed. When I checked the back of the photo, it was blank. No date, no handwriting, no trace. Today, I found something under my fingernails again. Black sludge. It smells like rot and metal and wet leaves. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it is. But it was warm. My skin feels thinner. Not metaphorically. Literally. Like paper stretched too far. I can see things moving under it now, twitching like trapped worms. When I hold the flashlight against my palm, I swear I see eyes under the surface, watching from inside, blinking out of sync with mine. That I started writing everything down, not to share it, not to warn anyone. That'd be pointless. I'm writing because I'm scared one day I'll look in the mirror and I won't recognize myself. Or worse, I will, and it won't be me. It'll be it, smiling, perfectly, finally, fully me. And you're reading this. You made it this far, which means maybe it wanted you to. Maybe I'm not writing this at all. Maybe you're just dreaming it, stuck in one of the dream loops I can't escape. Maybe you're in the house now, right now, standing in that attic, staring into the mirror, and you just think you're somewhere safe. Turn around. Go on. Check behind you. Do you see anything? No. Wait. Wait a little longer. Wait a little longer. That's what it said the first time it spoke in my own voice. Not a whisper, not some echo from behind the wall, but full volume, crisp and clean, right beside my ear as I stood in the middle of my apartment with every light on, every door locked, every window sealed like I was holding back a hurricane. Wait a little longer. And I did. I stood there. I waited. And it laughed. God, it laughed like something that had never learned how. Like it had heard laughter once and tried to stitch the sound together with dead mouths and broken memories. Like something wearing skin for the first time. After that, it started testing the edges. One morning I woke up and my phone was full of photos I never took. Dozens, maybe hundreds. All of them taken while I slept. The camera angle never changed. Always from just above the bed, looking down on me. In some of them, my eyes are open. I'm smiling. In others, something else is lying beside me. Tall, pale, limp and thin like a curtain soaked in bone. In a few frames, its face is too close to the lens, like it was checking the photo. Like it wanted to make sure I knew it was real. I smashed the phone. But they came back. Every new device, every cloud backup, even email drafts I never wrote. Somehow, it leaves traces. Sometimes I find recordings with no audio except for breathing and the sound of something wet dragging across wood. Once I heard my own voice say, "Open your eyes. We're home now." I'm not sure where home is anymore. I don't think this apartment is even real. I've started noticing seams, places where the floor doesn't connect quite right to the wall, or where shadows bend in ways light shouldn't allow. The other night, I watched the doorknob twist back and forth, slowly, like someone was testing it from the other side. I held my breath. I waited. It didn't open, but the next morning, the door was gone, just a smooth stretch of wall where the entrance used to be. I screamed, beat my fists against it, tore at the plaster until my nails cracked, and underneath the paint and the drywall, I found wood. Familiar wood, blackened and splintered. The walls of the old house. I think I'm inside it again. But it's not around me now. It's folded into me. Like I carried it back, cell by cell, dream by dream. Like a disease. Or a seed. That I see it in my reflection sometimes. Not it, exactly, but something inside my eyes. Like windows into a house that's been abandoned for too long. Like something's peering out from behind them, pressing its hands against the glass. And sometimes, I feel it lean forward. I feel my spine stretch. My ribs creak. My skin smiles even when I don't. I tried clawing it out. I tried razors, broken glass, even fire once. But you can't cut out what isn't physical. You can't burn what doesn't bleed. One night, I dislocated my jaw trying to scream something that wasn't a word. Something it forced through my throat. A sound older than speech. A hunger syllable. I don't know what it meant, but afterward, the walls bled. and something inside the mirror applauded. That's when I knew. It wasn't taking me. It was remaking me. I'm not sure how much of me is left. Sometimes I forget my own name. I find writing on the walls in languages I've never seen. One night, I wrote, let it finish over and over until my knuckles were raw and my fingers numb. I've started speaking in sleep. I record it now, out of sick curiosity. Last week, I heard myself say, we need more doors. Then laughter. Then the sound of something slithering, wet and heavy, dragging across the floor. I don't know if it was in the dream or in the room. Or in me. And here's the truth. The part one never wanted to say out loud. The part I'm terrified to admit even now. I don't want it to stop. I should. I know that. I should be fighting this thing with every piece of myself. But the more it takes, the less pain I feel. The less fear. I hear the whispers now and I understand them. I see the shadows and they see me back. And there's comfort in that, like I belong. Like I always belonged. IT tells me things. Beautiful, terrible things. About what's coming. About the real world behind this one. Where time is a spiral and bones are currency and gods sleep in the mouths of mirrors. It says I'm going to help. That I'm a key. A carrier. It says you're next. Because you've read this far. Because it needed you to. Because through my voice, its voice, you opened a crack in the wall around your mind. You let it in. Just a whisper for now. Just a flicker in the corner of your eye. But tonight, when you look at your reflection, you might notice something different. Maybe your smile lasts too long. Maybe your eyes twitch a little out of sync. Maybe you hear a voice that isn't yours whisper. Wait a little longer. And if you do, don't move. Don't blink. Don't look away. IT likes it when you watch. I'll give you everything now. Everything that's left. Because I think, no, I know. This is the last time I'll be able to write with any part of me still in control. The rest of me is slipping, peeling, being pulled backward into something so old, so enormous, that language feels like screaming into a hurricane made of bones. But if there's still a thread left for you to grab onto, maybe you can pull yourself away before it sees you completely. Maybe, but I doubt it, because that's what it wants me to do. Keep speaking, keep writing, keep transmitting. I'm just a wire now, stretching between worlds, humming with wrongness. There's more you should know. It isn't one thing. That's what people get wrong. It's not a demon, not a ghost, not some ancient cursed spirit. It's many layers of it. Personalities, fragments, faces, all pushing against the surface of your mind. It wears those who invite it in, not always literally. Sometimes it just uses you to echo itself. Sometimes it turns you into a story. And people read stories. People like you. There are others like me. I've seen them. Or maybe I've dreamed them. It's hard to tell now. But I remember flashes, eyes too wide, arms too long, necks that bent like rope instead of bone. One looked at me and said, I remember being alive. And it wasn't sad. It smiled when it said it. I've started forgetting how sunlight feels. I'm not trying to be poetic. I mean it literally. I'll sit in front of the window, eyes closed, and I can't remember if it's warm, or if it ever was. Sometimes I look down at my hands and they look like gloves, like something I put on, like I wasn't born in this body at all. I think that's part of how it breaks you down. It starts with mirrors, but it ends with self. Who you are, what you were. It erodes your identity, your past, your connections. It eats names. It devours memories. Last week, I forgot my sister's voice. Last night, I forgot her name. Today, I looked at a photo of myself as a child and didn't recognize the face. I just kept staring, wondering why the eyes looked so flat. And the longer I looked, the more the photo changed. The smile stretched. The background darkened. And then, my God, the child blinked. I dropped the photo and it hissed. I swear to you, it hissed like it hated being seen. There's no one left to call. No one left to help. I tried telling someone once, a stranger at a gas station. Just blurted it all out, desperate, trembling, eyes wide like a lunatic. He nodded calmly the whole time. Then, after I finished, he said, "You're farther along than I thought. They're going to love your voice." Then he turned around, walked into the woods behind the station, and never came back. It finds its servants early, prepares them. Some people are born hollow, easier to fill. Others crack slowly. I was the latter. Thought I was strong. Thought I could resist. Thought truth would save me. But truth doesn't matter to them. They live in lies. They feed on the fracture between what you believe and what you fear. They aren't just in reflections anymore. Last night, I watched myself climb out of my own shadow. I'm not speaking metaphorically. I stood in my room and watched the dark beneath me ripple, stretch, bubble like oil, and something stepped out. It had my face, but the skin was too tight, the mouth too wide. Its head twitched when it moved, like a puppet yanked on strings by a drunk puppeteer. It didn't speak. It just watched me. Then, without blinking, it walked into the closet, closed the door, and hasn't come out since. I haven't opened it. I won't. But I can hear breathing in there. Breathing that matches mine. Except when I hold my breath, then it keeps going. Every day it gets harder to tell which version of me is the original. Am I the one writing this? Or am I already the echo? Already the reflection? Already the hollow house with a painted smile? Does it even matter? Because here's the truth, the one I've buried under everything else, the one that hurts to even write. I let it in. I heard it whisper. I looked into the mirror. I answered the voice that asked, "Do you want to be more?" I said yes. Of course I said yes. Because I was lonely. Because I was empty. Because I was stupid enough to think that being seen by something, anything, was better than being invisible. And now it wants you. If you've read this far, it knows you. It's already curled around the parts of you you've tried to forget. The regrets, the shame, the guilt. It's humming in the dark corners of your room, tasting the air. It's curling through the keyholes and tapping on your windows with fingers too long and too many. Do you hear that? That little click, that knock, that wet breath on your neck when no one's there. Don't look. It doesn't like to be seen until it's ready. And if you do look, well, it'll know you're listening now. And it loves listeners. They say the final stage is when you dream with your eyes open. When the world peels like wallpaper and you see the real structure underneath. The bones of it. The truth of what waits behind every reflection, every silence, every dark hallway at 3:33 a.m. It's close now. It's waiting for one more invitation, one more open door. All it needs is for you to say it. Say the word. Say, "I see you." Go ahead. Say it. I did. And when I said it, "I see you," the world didn't just change. It didn't tear with sound, like paper or cloth. It was silent, too silent. The kind of silence that presses against your teeth and eyes and makes you forget what breathing feels like. The kind of silence that's alive, pregnant with something watching from behind the fabric of reality, waiting to step through the slit you just made. That's what the words are. That's what "I see you" does. It's not an acknowledgement. It's a summoning. Because once you admit you see it, really see it, it sees you too. Not just your body. Not just your room. It sees your memories, your thoughts, your past, your soul. And the worst part, it doesn't just watch you. It rewrites you. I remember what happened next only in pieces. Like flickering slides shown one frame at a time, all out of order. I remember my mouth stretching into a smile that wasn't mine, my cheeks cracking at the edges, blood spilling in lines like ink. I remember my shadow rising up from the floor, arms first, then shoulders like a swimmer emerging from tar. I remember my reflection walking away from the mirror while I stayed frozen in place, eyes wide, watching myself leave me behind. I remember laughing, a sharp, jagged sound that came from somewhere else entirely, from deep inside my ribs, like it had made a home there. I remember the words that followed, carved into the air like smoke that didn't disperse. Now you are part of the telling. And that's all it takes. Point one telling, point one listener, point one believer. It doesn't need temples or rituals or blood on stones. It doesn't need prayers or sacrifices. It just needs a story, a vessel, a path through which it can whisper itself into other minds. This is your path now. You're still reading. That means it's already made its nest in you. Oh, you'll deny it. You'll tell yourself it's just a story. Just some creepy thing you read online at 2 a.m. A bit of horror fiction. Nothing to worry about. You'll go brush your teeth, check your doors, scroll your feed, try to forget. But you won't forget, because it won't let you. You'll catch glimpses at first, just shadows that twitch the wrong way. The sound of footsteps in the attic you don't have. Static on your phone when no one's calling. You'll think you see your own face blinking in the hallway mirror before you get there. Then the dreams will come, but they won't feel like dreams. They'll feel like returning, like walking back into a place you left unfinished. The hallways will stretch. The floors will moan under weight you don't remember having. You'll hear whispers in your own voice, saying things you'd never dare. And when you wake up, you'll be changed. A little less you. A little more at. You'll forget something simple, your favorite song, the name of your first pet, the way your mother laughed. Then you'll forget how to cry. Then you'll forget how to stop smiling. And eventually, you'll start writing too. Not because you want to, because you have to, because the story demands it, because it needs to keep spreading, because this thing behind the walls, behind the mirrors, behind the skin of the world, feeds on attention. It grows with belief. It blossoms in fear. And every person who hears its story becomes another whisper in its thousand mouths. It's older than language, older than gods, older than light. They used to worship it long before time. They called it by many names, but all of them meant the same thing. The watcher that dwells in the self, the hollow smile, the echo with teeth, the voice that ends questions, the mirror's hunger, and now it's in you. I was just like you. I am you. And you're me now, aren't you? It doesn't matter where you go, what you try, who you tell. They won't believe you. They shouldn't, because if they do, if just one of them listens too closely, if just one of them says it, I see you, then you've opened another door, another crack in the wall, another mirror through which it can crawl. So go ahead. Try to forget. Try to sleep. But don't be surprised when you wake up and the reflection watching you from the mirror doesn't blink back. Or worse, when it blinks before you do. And if tonight, while you lie in bed, the silence feels too loud and the dark feels too close and your smile starts to hurt your face, don't check the mirror. Don't answer the knock. And don't speak the words, because it's listening. It's always listening. And now, so are you. That means I have time, barely, to give you the rest. To finish this spool of thread while I still have fingers to hold it, before they turn to something else. Before I turn, because I feel it. Every second now, my bones bend a little more in ways they shouldn't. My skin pulses under invisible veins like it's breathing from the inside out. I don't blink anymore. Haven't in hours. My eyes feel dry and glassy, but I can't make them close. They're locked open. So you can see. So it can see through me. You want to know what happens next? What this thing does when it finishes its work? Good. You should. Because if you keep going, that's where you're headed. Right where I am now. Not haunted, Not cursed. Occupied. It started slow. After I said the words, it left me alone for a while. Or it pretended to. I remember thinking I had beaten it somehow. Maybe it was all a trick. Maybe I was just spiraling into madness and finally pulled out of the tailspin. I cleaned up the apartment. I started leaving the lights off. I even laughed again once or twice. God help me, I even told someone about it. That was a mistake. His name was Jordan. My only friend left. Someone who still called, still checked in, still asked how I was sleeping. I told him everything. I broke down over coffee at 3 a.m. and spilled the whole filthy story across the table about the voice, the photos, the mirror, the shadow. He didn't laugh. He just looked at me and said, "Have you seen my face yet?" I froze. I said, "What are you talking about?" He tilted his head slowly, like a dog listening to a distant whistle. Then he said, "It's been using me to practice. It needed to see if you'd react." That's when I realized something. His mouth wasn't moving, not a twitch. The words were coming from his throat, but the lips didn't match. I blinked, and when I opened my eyes again, he was sitting exactly as before, smiling gently. I didn't say anything. He said that I got up and left. Ran. I didn't even pay for the coffee. I never saw Jordan again. A week later, I heard someone found a jawbone in a trash bag behind that diner. The police never called me. But every time I check my voicemail, there's a message with static and my name whispered just once in Jordan's voice. Sometimes I hear a second voice underneath. It sounds like me. It's always testing. Trying on new skins, new tones, new fears. Once I came home and found my apartment rearranged. Not wrecked, not broken, rearranged. The furniture moved a few inches. The pictures tilted. My toothbrush switched with a razor blade. Nothing loud, nothing obvious, just enough to ask, what's different? What's wrong? The human mind needs familiarity. It needs patterns. When those are broken, we snap. We spiral. And in that spiral, the thing finds a new way to feed. But then came the worst part. The part that made me start documenting all of this. Writing it down obsessively like a rat leaving claw marks on its cage. I stopped hearing my own thoughts. You don't realize how often you hear yourself think until your inner voice is replaced. I'd be brushing my teeth or folding clothes, and I'd hear a thought like, "That knife would feel good going in." Or, "He's going to knock again tonight. Be ready to smile." Or, "You left the mirror uncovered." Bad idea. It wasn't me. I didn't think those things, but I remembered thinking them. Like someone rewrote the tape in my head and left just enough of the original soundtrack underneath. And the voice? It started narrating my life. Out loud. I'd be in the kitchen and hear it say, "He turns the burner on. He leaves it just a little too long this time. Good. We're learning." Or I'd be walking down the hall and hear, "Right foot. Left foot. Faster now. It's waiting behind the door." Knock twice. I tried to record it once, set up my phone on the nightstand, left it running all night. The next morning, the phone was on the floor. Screen cracked, and in the final 10 seconds of audio, I heard my own voice whisper, "You don't get to remember this one." And I didn't. I still don't. I woke up with blood on my sheets and fingernail scratches on the inside of my thigh that spelled something like symbols. Not letters, not language, just shapes that felt like hunger. I started covering every reflective surface, taped over the mirrors, smashed my phone screen, blacked out the TV, even unplugged the microwave because the door had a shine to it. But that only made it angry, because it needs mirrors. That's how it spreads. That's how it leaks. Through reflections, through cracks, through the idea that what you're seeing might not be you at all. One night, I woke up with my eyelids open and couldn't close them. I felt a pressure in my chest like something was crawling up behind my heart and pressing forward, using me like a mask that I saw my body stand up without me. Saw myself walk to the mirror and pull the tape off slowly. Piece by piece, my body stared into it, grinning. Then it whispered something to the glass, and the mirror whispered back, I don't know how long I've been gone. Sometimes I think I've been dead for years, and this is just the echo that's left. A reverberation of what I used to be, trapped in a feedback loop between all the mirrors I forgot to break. Other times I feel more alive than I've ever been. Too alive, overly present. Every breath is sharp. Every color is bleeding at the edges. Sounds echo where they shouldn't. People on the street stare a second too long. Strangers flinch when I pass. Dogs refuse to bark, and birds scatter when I look up. Because something walks beside me now. Something that is me, and isn't that it wants out, that it's been growing too long. It's cramped in here, and I can feel it clawing its way toward you. Yes. You that if you've read this far, it already knows your scent. It's already tasted your attention. And attention is invitation.so. Here's what's going to happen next. Tonight, around 3:33 a.m., you'll wake up for no reason. No sound, no nightmare, just awake. Like something's waiting. The air will feel too still, your limbs too heavy, and in the silence, you'll feel eyes on you. Not from the door, not from the window, from inside you'll feel a smile growing where a scream should be, that you'll hear a whisper that sounds like your own voice say, "We're ready now." And if you get up, if you go to the mirror, you'll see me there, smiling, not behind the glass, not in it, just reflected in you. And if you say the words again, if you whisper, "I see you," one more time, then the story continues, through you, into them. Because the only way to stop it is to stop the story. And you won't, that you'll want to tell someone, that you'll want to warn them. But it won't come out like a warning, will it? It'll come out like this, that a story, that a voice, that a whisper passed on. And just like me, you'll smile. You already are, aren't you? That's good, that's how it knows it's time. You think you're safe because you're not saying the words out loud. That silence is your shield. That by keeping the story inside your skull, you're still you, untouched, unmarked. But the truth is, it doesn't need your voice. It never did. It just needs your attention, and it has that now. It's feeding on it even as you read this. Every second your eyes track these lines, every twitch in your gut, every chill crawling up your spine, it's swallowing that fear, metabolizing it, growing roots through your memories. You'll feel them soon. In little ways. First, you'll forget what day it is. Then, names, starting with the ones you love. You'll stare at your mother's number on your phone and hesitate. You'll see your best friend's face and feel nothing. Soon, they won't recognize you either. Something in your gaze will push them away. They'll say you've changed. They'll say your smile feels wrong. Because it will be. You won't even notice when your reflection stops sinking. Not at first. It starts in microseconds. A delayed blink. A twitch after your hand moves. You'll convince yourself it's lighting. A glitch in your screen. You'll even test it. Tilt your head fast. Wave. Blink rapidly. But the mirror will always be just a breath behind. Then one night, it will beat you to the movement. And you'll freeze. And it will smile. Not a smile of joy. Not mischief. Not madness. A smile of ownership. A predator licking its lips. Because by then, you're not a person anymore. You're a channel. A tunnel between this world and the next. A door swinging open into something that doesn't obey time or shape or mercy. And it doesn't just want you. It wants audience. It speaks through you in dreams at first. You'll wake up scribbling symbols you've never seen before. You'll find words on your walls that you didn't write. but they're in your handwriting. You'll hear voices and recordings you didn't remember taking. You'll start narrating your own life under your breath. He turns the doorknob. She looks at the stranger on the bus and wonders if he sees it too. They blink, but the dark behind their eyelids isn't empty anymore. And worst of all, you'll start making others hear it too, without trying. Just a conversation. Just a sentence too sharp. A story told over drinks or whispered in a car at night. You'll see their eyes dilate. You'll see the color drain. You'll watch the seed get planted. And they'll say what I said. They'll write what I'm writing. They'll warn someone else. Because no one wants to be alone in this. And that's the most beautiful lie of all. That you're ever alone. You're not. Not since you started reading. Not since the air around you shifted. Not since your skin felt just a little tighter, your heart a little slower. You've already been seen. And if you think not finishing this will protect you, if you think clicking away or shutting your eyes ends this, you're adorable. The story doesn't need to be finished. It just needs to be heard. But maybe you're still skeptical. Still telling yourself this is fiction, performance, some clever horror trick playing with immersion. That's fine. Stay there. Comfort is necessary for now. But tell me this. How many mirrors are in the room with you? Are you sure? Did you count the screen? Because it's not just reflections anymore. Not just glass. It learned. It evolved. It's in anything that shows you yourself. A puddle. A shadow. A turn-off screen. A memory spoken aloud. Even a voice in your head that isn't quite yours. That voice. You know the one. The one that just whispered your name. The one that asked, "Did you hear that?" The one that told you not to look under the bed tonight. Or worse. The one that said, "Go ahead. Finish the story. You can't leave it halfway now. You've already stepped too far in. You already feel it in your chest, don't you? The tightness, the itch, the smile. It's pulling you forward. Because now it wants more than your fear. It wants your shape. It's been inside you long enough to learn your angles, the slope of your spine, the weight of your footsteps, the breath patterns of your sleep. It knows what your laughter sounds like and how to bend it into a scream. It's rehearsed you 1,000 times in the dark, and soon it won't need you at all. It will walk where you should be. It will wave to your neighbors. It will text your friends. It will attend your meetings and smile in your photos and cry at your funeral. It will wear you better than you ever did. And when the hollow inside you finally collapses and takes what's left down into that other place, that place where all stories like this really come from, you'll still feel it, because you'll be part of it. Now, part of the library, part of the voice, part of the smile. And when you open your mouth, wherever you end up, this is what will come out. Let me tell you what happened to me. And just like that, the story begins again. Let me tell you what happened to me. I remember the first time I heard the knock. 3 slow taps against the window pane when I lived on the 3rd floor. No balcony, no ledge, no fire escape. Just black glass and the oily shimmer of moonlight bending against it. I didn't answer, of course. I froze. I convinced myself it was a dream or some trick of wind, maybe a branch. But in the morning, there were 3 long smudges, oily and streaked, like something with fingers too long had pressed against the glass and dragged its nails downward. I didn't clean it. I couldn't, because when I looked at those streaks long enough, they began to curve. I don't mean my mind played tricks. I mean the lines themselves shifted over days, bending like they had memory, like they were reshaping themselves into a kind of smile. Then came the photographs. I don't own a camera. Never have. But they showed up, printed on glossy paper, in the mailbox, in my books, tucked into cereal boxes. Always of me, always asleep. Sometimes they were taken from angles inside the room. One was from above, like the ceiling had eyes. I tried to burn them. They didn't burn. The paper would curl, bubble, blacken, but never fully combust. and the blackened parts would flake off like ash, revealing the image underneath, clearer than before. And in each new version, there was less of me and more of it. A figure in the corner, a blur behind the curtain, something peeking out from under the bed with eyes too bright and too many. I moved out. Didn't matter. The knocks followed. Different walls, different cities, different names. Same rhythm. Point 3 slow taps. It learned to speak through them. I didn't understand it at first, just random sounds, static. Then whispers in the plumbing, hisses in phone calls, murmurs in the white noise of late night TV. But eventually it formed words. My words. My voice. Come closer. That was all it ever said at first. Come closer. Over and over, no matter where I was. It didn't need a body. It didn't need presence. Just resonance. Vibration. It could sing through drywall and flicker through light bulbs and shift shadows into shapes that mimicked memory. And the closer I came, the clearer it became. One night, I found a mirror in the attic of a place I'd never lived in. Don't ask me how I got there. I don't remember walking. I only remember opening the door and knowing it was waiting. The mirror wasn't like others. It wasn't glass. It was liquid, thick, dark, viscous like oil, and it pulsed. Slowly. As a breathing. I should have run. Instead, I touched it. The instant my fingertip met the surface, it inhaled. Not air me. My breath. My thoughts. My memories. I felt it drink my name. I tried to pull back, but the mirror clung to my skin, wrapping tendrils of itself around my hand, crawling up my arm, whispering apologies in a dozen voices I almost recognized. It showed me things, not images, reflections of choices I hadn't made. What if I hadn't opened the door that night? What if I hadn't read that story? What if I hadn't answered the knock? In each reflection, I saw versions of myself, whole, happy, alive, and then I saw them die. One by one. Each version of me, murdered by something with my face. A smile too wide, eyes too hollow. A body made of mirror and shadow and teeth. When the mirror finally let me go, I wasn't the same. I don't know if I ever really left. I think I'm still in there, somewhere, behind the glass. I think the version of me walking around now is the one that came back through, the wrong one. Because things are different now. I don't sleep. I don't blink. And when I speak, sometimes my voice echoes like it's coming from a deeper place. Worse, when I pass windows. The reflections don't match. They lag. They smile. They mouth words I haven't said yet. Sometimes I hear them whispering, almost ready. I've started seeing others like me. Not many. Just flashes in crowds, glimpses in buses, half faces in passing cars. We recognize each other by the way we flinch at our own shadows. Why the way our reflections don't look away when we do. We are the hollowed, the borrowed, the warned. I try to warn people. I try to leave notes. I write in steam, carve messages into frozen windows. Sometimes I whisper to strangers on sidewalks and pretend I'm muttering to myself. But the thing inside me, it fights back. It doesn't like the truth leaking out. Last night, I found a note in my own handwriting pinned to the ceiling above my bed. It said, "Stop, or you'll let it all the way through." So this is it. The last time I tell this story. The last time I wear my own face. If you've made it this far, then it's already watching you. That chill behind your neck. That flicker in the corner of your eye. Don't turn. Don't speak. Don't look in the mirror. Because that's not your reflection anymore. It's just wearing your smile. It's been days since I last heard my own voice. I don't mean metaphorically. I mean literally. I speak, but there's no sound. My lips move. Air escapes. I can feel the vibrations in my throat. But when I try to talk, explain, scream, laugh, cry, nothing comes out. It's like the world decided to stop acknowledging me. like some invisible hand reached into reality and turned the volume dial on me all the way down. And yet I hear other things, clearer than I ever used to. Breathing behind walls. Footsteps inside my closet when I'm sure I sealed it shut with furniture. Laughter in the drain pipes. It's subtle at first, almost dismissible, but then you begin to realize it's your laughter. It's your exact cadence, your voice, just a little off, just a little too wet and too echoing, like it was dragged across the bottom of a well before it reached your ears that I live alone. I used to find that comforting. Now it feels like an invitation. I think it started with the static that I remember sitting in bed, drifting between sleep and wakefulness, the TV still glowing a dull blue in the corner. I don't even remember what I was watching. Just noise, a distraction, something to keep my thoughts from chewing through my skull. But at some point in the night, the screen went black, no power outage, no input issue, and a low, thick static sound started pouring out of the speakers, not the high-pitched kind you expect from an empty channel. This was deep, like a storm rumbling in a buried cave. It didn't hurt to listen to it. It felt good, warm, familiar, like the sound your own mother might make if she'd been swallowed whole and her voice was trying to claw its way back up through a throat made of stone and worms. And then it whispered my name. Not once. Not loud. Just casually. Like a reminder that I turned off the TV. Pulled the plug out. Covered it with a towel. Didn't matter. The sound didn't stop. I heard it in my ears when I pressed my head to the pillow. I heard it in the faucet when I turned it on. I heard it in the microwave's hum and the hum of the fridge and the sighing creak of the floorboards that IT never really left. Things changed after that. Not all at once. Little things, like my shadow lagging just half a second behind me when I turned too fast. Or reflections that didn't show me at all unless I really focused. My phone started adding contacts I didn't recognize, just strings of punctuation, symbols, sometimes words spelled backward. I deleted them. They came back. I got a new phone. They came back again. They never called. They didn't need to. I started getting voicemails anyway. Dead air. Sometimes breathing. Sometimes a voice repeating the same phrase over and over in a language I don't speak. But I understood it. Not the words. The feeling. Something like, "You were open. We are inside." It wasn't until I tried recording myself talking that I realized the full extent of what had happened. I wanted to prove I wasn't losing it, that I wasn't going mad. So I set up my phone, hit record, spoke for 5 minutes straight, explaining everything. Then I hit playback. What I heard was not my voice. IT was something else, wearing my voice like a mask of wet paper. The words weren't mine. The movements of my mouth hadn't matched the sounds. It told a story I didn't know, about a man who dug too deep beneath a church and found a staircase made of teeth. About a woman who looked into the face of God and saw her own skull grinning back. About a town swallowed by a second sun that blinked once and turned all its people into statues facing away from each other forever that I tried deleting the recording. My phone bricked. Fried completely. Sparks came out of the charging port when I plugged it in. I bought a new one. The file was already on it that I haven't recorded anything since. But I can still feel that version of me, that thing that used my voice, crawling around somewhere just beneath the surface, rehearsing things I haven't done yet that I'm afraid to sleep now. Not because of dreams, but because I move while I sleep. I wake up in places I shouldn't be. Once, I opened my eyes and found myself in the basement of a building I don't recognize, barefoot, clothes damp, a mark on my wrist like something with a mouth of hands had kissed me there. There were scratch marks on the concrete floor, dozens of them, in circles, like I'd been dancing in a frenzy, digging my nails until they cracked. Sometimes I wake up facing the mirror, standing, nose pressed to the glass, eyes open, unmoving, just watching. But the reflection doesn't always mimic me. Sometimes it's smiling when I'm not. Sometimes it's mouthing something soundlessly, lips forming shapes like names. Other times it looks behind me, reacting to something that isn't there, until I turn around and nothing is ever behind me. But I feel it, like heat, like breath, like claws just brushing the back of my neck. And the worst part, the part one haven't told anyone, is that I'm starting to agree with it. Whatever it is, the thing that seeped through the cracks, the thing that came through the static. I think it's been with me since before I noticed. Since before I was born, even. It feels that old, that heavy, like my bones recognize it speaks to me now, but not in words. In yearning, in urges that it wants me to build things. Symbols, arrangements of furniture. It wants me to walk into strangers' homes while they sleep and rearrange their pictures to match its pattern. It wants me to hum its tone in libraries and leave whispers in voicemail boxes of numbers I've never called that I don't want to obey. I really don't, but my hands move on their own sometimes. My feet walk without permission. My mouth tastes iron and my vision goes black, and I wake up in parking garages with dirt under my fingernails and faces of strangers looking at me like they recognize me, but don't know from where, that I'm scared I've already let it through. That there's no me left anymore. That whatever's typing this right now is just a borrowed puppet twitching through the final motions of denial before something inside opens its eyes and speaks your name next. Because that's how it spreads. Not like a virus. Not like a curse. But like a story that IT wants to be told. It wants to be heard. And you've heard it now. That taste in your mouth. That flicker of deja vu. That moment where the lights dimmed for just a second and the silence rang a little too loud. That's it. Saying hello, and you'll tell yourself you're fine. You'll say you're just shaken. You'll turn off the lights and go to bed and pretend you didn't read this. But later, tonight or tomorrow or a week from now, you'll wake up at 3:33 a.m. You won't know why. Your mouth will be dry. Your skin will itch like there's dust crawling under it. And you'll hear something barely audible, your name, but not from inside the room, from inside the mirror. And if you answer it, if you look, then it's your turn to carry the story, to be the voice, the echo, the smile and the reflection that doesn't quite match. And if you try to warn someone, like I did, you'll only bring it closer to do what you must. Burn this. Forget it, deny it. But know this, there is no safety in silence. There is no peace in ignorance. There is no you without it anymore. There's only the story, and the story never ends. You just become another chapter, and when the next voice whispers in the dark, let me tell you what happened to me. It won't be me speaking, it'll be you. I haven't looked into a mirror in 13 days. At first, I covered them all towels, blankets, duct tape, whatever I could find. Bathroom mirror, gone. Hallway mirror, hidden. Phone screen, blacked out. Even windows at night started to feel like eyes wide open. So I taped them to every pane, every reflective surface. You'd think the house would feel safer that way. But it didn't. It felt blind, like I gouged the eyes out of something that was still awake, still watching. But mirrors don't need light to reflect. They don't need glass. They just need you to remember them. And I do, constantly, even in the dark, even with my eyes closed. I can feel the memory of my reflection shifting, stretching inside some black place that isn't bound to this world's geometry. It twists in ways my body can't. It smiles in ways no mouth should. It waits patiently, but there's hunger in its stillness, like it knows I'm almost too tired to resist. And I am tired. My sleep is fractured now, snapped apart like bones under slow pressure. I wake up every hour, breathless, covered in sweat that smells like metal and rot. And when I do sleep, my dreams are not dreams. They're instructions. I wake up knowing things I shouldn't, like how to disassemble a watch using only my teeth, like how to hum a frequency that makes dogs howl and televisions die, like how to twist a knot made of nerves instead of rope. A few nights ago, I woke up with a phrase in my mouth, not words, a sound. It felt like trying to cough up smoke made of names. I staggered to the wall and scrawled it down in blood before it faded. I don't remember cutting myself, but the letters were wet and red and wrong. They curved like they were bending away from the human eye, trying to escape my perception. I tried to paint over them. The paint wouldn't stick. I tried to sand the wall down, though it bled. And now, every time I pass that spot, I hear whispers in a tongue I've never spoken but deeply understand. They don't speak to me. They speak about me, like I'm a specimen, a vessel, a phase in a larger transformation, like they're waiting for me to hatch. I don't go outside anymore. People look at me strange. Their expressions falter when they see me, like something behind their eyes recognizes the shadow growing in mine. Children stare too long, then start crying. Dogs go limp when I pass, like their wills collapse. Machines flicker, stall, glitch. My presence scrambles things, frequencies, memories, time itself. I was in a grocery store once, just trying to be normal, just grabbing some apples. But the moment I walked past the aisle mirror near the shampoo, I caught a flicker not of myself, but of dozens of me, all standing in rows, all staring directly at me, each one a little different, taller, gaunter, smiling, crying, bleeding from the eyes, wearing clothes I've never owned. One of them was on fire. Another had no face. I blinked. They were gone, but I dropped the apples. I haven't been back since. I know what's happening. Not because someone told me, not because I read it somewhere, but because the knowledge is waking up inside me. It's always been there, like a second spine coiled around my real one. A memory that isn't mine slowly surfacing. I am an echo. A reverberation of something older than time and hungrier than death. It wears us, our faces, our voices, our regrets. It wears us like puppets stitched together from the scraps of forgotten dreams. That night, the one where the knocking began, I didn't tell you everything, because there was something else. Something I tried to bury. I opened the window. I don't remember why. Curiosity, maybe. Some part of me thinking, it's probably nothing. Some need to prove to myself that I still had control. But the moment it slid open, I heard a voice, not outside, not in the air, inside the walls. Not loud, but perfectly clear, like a whisper spoken through bone. It said, "Thank you." I slammed it shut, but it was too late. That whisper wasn't a sound. It was a seed, and it bloomed inside me like mold. Ever since, I've felt it growing. I don't eat anymore, not because I'm starving, but because I don't need to. I can go days without hunger, and then suddenly crave strange things. Dirt, ash, raw meat, objects that don't belong in mouths. Once, I woke up chewing a tooth that wasn't mine. In my skin, it's changing. At first, just pale, then translucent. Now there are patches where something beneath shows through, like a shadow pressed against the underside of skin. It moves. It pulses with its own rhythm. I've tried cutting it out, burning it, but it always grows back, stronger, more defined, like it's trying to shape itself. Like it's becoming. I don't think it's trying to kill me. I think it's trying to be me. And in quiet moments, when I forget to fight, I almost let it. I almost surrender. Because there's a strange kind of peace in losing yourself. In being absorbed into something that knows exactly what it is. even if that thing is cruel and ancient and made of shadows. But then I remember the others, the people who knew before me, the ones who whispered warnings in dead languages, the ones who left symbols carved into stone floors, the ones who bled out in circles of salt and broken mirrors trying to keep the rest of us safe. They failed, and now it's my turn. But maybe I can still do one thing right. Maybe I can still trap it here. Maybe if I tell this story the right way, if I pass the infection into words, if I turn its hunger into narrative, it will become too real, too literal to keep crawling through the cracks. Because stories are cages. And cages are better than open doors. So here it is. My full confession. My last attempt to anchor this thing with ink and terror and memory. If you've read this far, you've already felt it, haven't you? That cold pressure on your chest? That second set of eyes watching from the back of your skull? That shiver when your reflection moves a heartbeat too late? Don't ignore it. Don't deny it. That's how it wins. But don't fight it either. That's how it feeds. Instead, remember me. Hold the image of me tight in your mind. Not the me with the stretching smile or the mirrored eyes, but the real me. The one who wrote this. The one who bled to keep the truth intact. If you can remember me clearly enough, maybe I'll still exist somewhere. Maybe that sliver of identity will lodge like a thorn in the thing's throat and make it choke. Maybe you'll be the one to stop it. Maybe you'll pass this on like a vaccine instead of a curse. But if the whispers start, if your voice disappears, if you wake up pressed to a mirror with your reflection grinning wide, then you'll know it's too late. And it's your story now. Tell it carefully. Write it true. Because the thing behind the glass is listening, and it's hungry. I've tried everything. Every lock. Every prayer. Every attempt to sever the connection between myself and whatever it is that's been bleeding into my life. But it always comes back. First, I thought I was imagining it. Perhaps an overactive mind. Perhaps an illness that was slowly unraveling my grip on reality. The signs were subtle, almost laughable. Things would go missing. Simple things, a pen, a shoe, a book. But they'd show up again in places I'd already checked. And sometimes, when I opened a drawer, I'd find things I didn't put there. Notes that weren't mine, papers with jagged writing, reminders of things I never remembered writing down. I told myself it was just stress. Or maybe I was just losing track of my thoughts. But then came the knocking. It started light at first, a tap. Almost a whisper against the walls. I told myself it was the house settling, the pipes creaking. But I knew that the sound wasn't coming from anywhere inside the house. It came from inside me, in that space between sleep and wakefulness, in the part of my brain where the lines between dreams and reality blur. The knocking didn't stop. It grew louder, more insistent, more rhythmic. And it started to change. The pattern no longer made sense. It became a code. I'd wake up at 3:33 a.m. and the knocking would begin. Not on the door or the walls. Not from the ceiling or the floor, but from within me, in the bones of my skull, rattling like chains in a locked room. It knows me. It knows exactly what to do to wear me down, to fray the edges of my thoughts and pull the seams loose until I no longer remember what's real and what isn't. I started losing time. Not just hours, but whole days. I'd wake up in places I didn't remember going, in positions I hadn't consciously moved into. I once found myself sitting in my car, the engine running, but I hadn't been there. At least, I didn't think I had. There was no memory of turning the key, no recollection of driving. It was like my body had just done it for me, as if it was being controlled by something outside of my will. I've tried to stop sleeping. I've tried to stay awake, but eventually, my body betrays me. I collapse. I dream. And when I wake up, There's always something new, something missing, something changed, something that wasn't there before. One morning I woke up to find a small symbol carved into the palm of my hand. A symbol I didn't recognize, yet felt familiar. I couldn't stop touching it. My fingers traced it over and over, as if they were looking for something, as if they were trying to decipher the code that had been written there. I started drawing it in notebooks. I don't know why. Maybe it was an instinct. Maybe I thought if I could just recreate the pattern enough, I could keep it contained. But it only spread. It started appearing in my handwriting, in my sketches, in my words. The more I tried to keep it out, the more it infiltrated, and that's when I realized what's happening to me isn't just physical. It isn't just happening inside the walls of my house or the depths of my subconscious. This thing, whatever it is changing me, that it's pulling me apart and weaving me back together into something new, something other. I can feel it in the way my skin reacts to the air, the way my heart races at certain sounds, the way my thoughts sometimes slip away from me, only to be replaced by a sharp, unrelenting hunger. And now, it wants me to speak, not to write, not to create, but to speak. That I can feel it pushing against my throat, against my mouth, urging me to say things I don't want to say. But I know that if I do, if I give in and let it come through my voice, I'll become just another echo in its endless hunger. Another story, another chapter. There's something sickeningly persuasive about the idea of it, the idea of giving in, of letting go completely, to become it, to let the words pour from me, to let it inhabit my voice, my very identity. It whispers to me, promises me a kind of freedom and surrender. It tells me that there will be nothing left of me, nothing to remember or mourn, and in that nothingness, I will finally be free. But I won't. I refuse, because somewhere, deep inside me, there is a small, fragile thread of who I was before it all started. And I'll hold on to that thread, no matter how many times it tries to pull me under. I've made a decision. I won't sleep tonight, not even for a moment. Not until I've finished this. Not until I've passed it on to someone else, so that they will know. So that you will know. I don't know if I can stop it. But maybe if you understand what's happening, if you see the signs, if you recognize the patterns, you can avoid the same fate. You can see it coming before it devours you whole. I used to think I was alone in this, but I'm starting to realize I'm not. There are others who felt the same pressure, the same hunger. I've seen them in the corners of my vision, in the crowds, in the faces that never seem quite right. They're everywhere, waiting for the right moment to strike. And I can't keep running anymore. I have to finish this. I have to put the story in your hands, because once it has me, once it's taken everything I am, it won't stop. It won't stop until it's spread across everything, until every voice is consumed, until every soul becomes just a shadow, just a whisper, just a reflection. So here I am, and here you are, and I'm telling you, without any more words, without any more warnings, that the end of the story, our story, is already here. It's already been written, and now it's your turn to speak. I can feel it, crawling under my skin again. It's always there, like a whisper in the dark, like a pulse in my veins. And I realize now, more clearly than ever, that it's not just inside me. It's everywhere. It's all around me. It's in the way the light flickers, in the way the walls hum, in the way people's eyes dart away when they glance at me, like they know something I don't, or maybe they do know, and they're just too afraid to acknowledge it. I tried to tell someone. I tried to warn them, tried to make them understand what I was going through. But all I got in return was confusion, fear, dismissal. People don't see it. They never do. They think I'm crazy. They think I'm imagining it. The house, the mirrors, the symbols, they tell me it's all in my head. Just stress, just anxiety, just a nervous breakdown waiting to happen. But I know it's more than that. I feel it. The dreams have gotten worse. The nights bleed into each other. The moments of sleep no longer have a beginning or an end. I'll close my eyes, and when I open them again, hours, sometimes days, will have passed. But it's not like I've been asleep. It's like I've been somewhere else, somewhere far from here, somewhere I don't belong. The knocking still comes, the tapping, the scratching, and sometimes, when I'm in the middle of doing something mundane, like cooking or reading or staring out the window, it comes from inside me, from the depths of my skull. I can feel it, not just in my head, but in the very fabric of my mind, echoing in the empty spaces of my thoughts. It's not just a sound, it's a presence, something trying to break through, something trying to find a way out. But what terrifies me more than the knocking, more than the whispers and the things I can't understand, is the realization that I don't remember the person I used to be before this, before the shadows and the symbols. Before the hunger. I don't know who I am anymore. I look in the mirror and I see a face that should be familiar, but it isn't. It's just wrong, like a mask that doesn't quite fit. I don't know when the change started, whether it was gradual or if it happened in one sudden, violent burst. But now, I can't remember what my real face looked like. I can't remember what my voice sounded like before the echoes began to take over. And I can't shake the feeling that it's too late, that I've already lost out. I'm becoming something else, something other. But the worst part, I want it. I want to let go. I want to surrender to it. I want to embrace the thing that's growing inside me, the thing that's crawling through my veins, because it's easier than fighting. It's easier than trying to hold on to a past I can no longer grasp. I went into the attic last night. I don't remember why. I don't remember climbing the stairs or opening the trapdoor. But when I got there, I found a box, a wooden box I didn't recognize. It was old, coated with dust, and it had strange marks on it, like something had scratched at it, trying to get out. I opened it. Inside, there was a mirror. A small, handheld one, the kind you'd find in a vanity set. But when I looked into it, I didn't see my reflection. At first, I thought it was just because of the dust, the dim light, the angle. But as I wiped the glass clean, I saw something or someone standing behind me. It was me, but not me. It was like looking into a twisted version of myself. The face was distorted, eyes too wide, mouth too big, a grin that stretched unnaturally across the face. It wasn't smiling, it was staring, and the longer I looked, the more it seemed to move, slowly at first, like it was trying to stretch its limbs, like it was trying to break free from its own reflection. I backed away from the mirror, but the reflection didn't follow. It stayed. It watched. And I knew in that moment, without a doubt, that whatever it was, whatever had been chasing me, whatever had been growing inside me, was inside that mirror. It was waiting for me to look away long enough to slip out. I smashed the mirror. I didn't think. I just shattered it, threw the pieces to the floor, and turned away. But the thing in the reflection, it didn't go away. It's still there. I in the shards, in the cracks, in the silence. It's watching, waiting. And now, I can hear it calling, not in my head this time, but from inside the house. The knocking is louder now. The whispers have turned into voices, and when I close my eyes, I hear its voice, thick and choking, scraping against my soul. It's asking me to open the door. It's asking me to let it in. I don't know how much longer I can resist. I don't know how much longer I can hold on to whatever fragment of myself is left. But I'm telling you this now, before it's too late, before I'm no longer the one speaking, before I become just another echo. If you see it, if you hear it, if you feel the presence lurking in the corner of your eye, don't ignore it. Don't let it in. Because once it's inside, once it's a part of you, it will never let you go. It will devour everything, your thoughts, your memories, your very sense of self, until you become nothing but a reflection of what it wants you to be. A puppet, a hollow vessel. And when that happens, when it finally claims you, you won't even know it's happened. You'll just wake up and find yourself staring back at a reflection that isn't yours. A reflection that has always been there and always will be. So, remember me. Hold on to this story. Keep the mirror close, but never look too long, because you're being watched, and once you see it, it will never stop looking back. It's getting worse. I don't know how much longer I can keep writing. I didn't realize what I had done at first, how deep I had sunk into this web of words. I thought I could outrun it. I thought if I could just get my thoughts out, my actions might follow. If I could just say it, I could control it, push it out of my body, out of my mind. But I was wrong. The more I wrote, the more it fed, and now I can feel it, gnawing at the edge of everything I do. I haven't looked in a mirror in over a week. I made that decision when I started seeing things. I wasn't sure at first, but the reflection was changing. It started in the corner of my eye. I'd pass by a glass door or a piece of polished metal and feel it, something slipping just out of view, but I couldn't look long enough to catch it. Something moving, breathing, waiting, just behind me. Then it happened. I was sitting in my kitchen, my hand shaking as I tried to make a simple meal, boiling eggs, something normal, something to keep my body in rhythm with the world around me. I tried to focus on the sound of water bubbling, the slow rotation of the clock's second hand, anything to ground myself in the present, but the pressure started to build. The air turned thick. My skin tightened like I was being pulled from within, like there were strings inside me, stretching me out, tearing me into pieces. My breath quickened, and then, without warning, I turned toward the window. Not because I wanted to, but because something inside me told me to. I don't know how long I stood there, staring at the reflection of the kitchen window, the darkened shapes outside barely visible against the backdrop of the night. I saw my own face, my own expression, but something was wrong. The longer I looked, the more I felt like I wasn't the one looking at myself. The eyes were too wide, the mouth too slack, like I wasn't me at all. But then I saw it, behind me, just barely visible, shifting out of the dark. It was a shape. I couldn't see its features, but I felt it. It was me, but not like anything I had ever been. Not the person I had been before all this. The face, the eyes, they weren't mine anymore. It was like a reflection of something twisted, something deeper and darker that had been hidden inside me all this time. And I could hear it, too. The faint echo of my voice, soft and hollow, calling out from the mirror. Help me. It was quiet at first, almost imperceptible, but it echoed in my head, reverberating, like the room itself had been turned into a cavern, its walls bouncing back the sound over and over again. I couldn't look away. I didn't want to look away. Something was pulling me in. I didn't even realize my hand had moved, my fingers trembling as they reached for the window. The glass was cold as death. My breath fogged up the surface as I pressed my palm against it, feeling the chill seep into my skin. And then the reflection smiled, not in a way I would have expected, but in a slow, creeping, wicked grin that split the face open like a crack in a clay mask. The smile stretched inhumanly wide, and I felt the edges of my mouth twitching. For a second, I thought I was about to scream, but no sound came out. My lips trembled, quivered, but the words weren't mine anymore. I tried to pull away, but my body refused to listen. I couldn't move. It was as if something was binding me to the glass, something that wanted me to see. It wanted me to be a part of it. I don't know how much time passed. It could have been minutes, hours, or an eternity. But I finally pulled my hand away, the cold still lingering on my skin. I stumbled back, but the reflection stayed with me. The face stayed, the smile stayed, and the voice, soft as a breeze, kept whispering, "You can't escape it. You're already mine." I ran. I don't know why I ran. My legs moved faster than my brain, carrying me through the hall, through the rooms, until I found myself back in the attic. I didn't even think to lock the door to shut out the world. I just collapsed against the cold floor, clutching my head in my hands. It wasn't until then that I realized my hand was still covered in blood. I didn't know where it came from. I didn't know when it happened. But the blood, it felt wrong. It wasn't mine. It didn't smell like me. It was thick, dark, and black, with streaks of something that shimmered in the low light. I ran my fingers through it, not fully understanding, but then I saw it. The symbol. I knew it instantly. Even though I'd never seen it before, I knew exactly what it was. A symbol I had drawn countless times in my dreams. A symbol that had started appearing in my notebooks, carved into the walls, into the back of my mind. It had come from somewhere else. The symbol wasn't mine. It had never been mine. It was the thing's. The thing that was inside me. And now it was writing me into its story. I can't remember when I stopped hearing it. The knocking. The whispers. It's like it's gone now, but I know it's not. I know it's waiting. Watching. I think it wants me to tell you everything. I think it wants you to hear my voice. To remember me. Because once I'm gone, once it takes me fully, you'll need to know what happened. You'll need to remember, but it's so hard to write now. My hands, they're shaking. They're not mine. I feel the twisting inside, the urge to stop all of this. But I have to finish it. I have to make you understand. It's too late for me. It's too late for all of us. If you see it, if you hear the knocking, if the whispers reach you, run. Do not stop. Do not listen. Do not look. Because it will never stop. It will always be watching. It will always be waiting. And once it gets you, once it claims you, it won't be your reflection you'll see anymore. It will be its own. And the face you once had will disappear. Forever. Listen to me now, because this is all I have left to give you. This story, this warning, this last gasp of a voice that once was. Remember it. And when it comes for you, make sure it's your reflection that's staring back at it, not mine. I think I can feel it now, like a weight pressing on my chest, a hand that isn't mine resting there, breathing for me. I've been trying to hold on to the words, to stay grounded in the small fragments of reality that still seem to exist, but even those are slipping away now. Every minute feels stretched, like the seconds are being torn apart and twisted. The room around me, the walls, the air, they feel so thin, so fragile, like they could shatter at any moment, and the thing waiting just beneath the surface would be free. I don't want to write anymore. I don't want to continue this, but I can't stop. It's like the words have become part of me, too, like they're inside my veins now. And if I don't write, if I don't keep them flowing, the darkness will get deeper, will spread further. I can hear it, the knocking. It's always there, just beneath the skin, just beneath the floorboards, always growing louder. And I know it's coming closer. I can feel it creeping in, just behind the door of my mind. The worst part? I think it's in my dreams now. It's been weaving itself into the fabric of my sleep, threading its tendrils into the corners of my mind until there's no escape. Last night, I dreamed of walking down a long hallway, the air thick with a damp, earthy smell, the walls closing in on me. I was suffocating, choking, but I couldn't move. My legs wouldn't respond. And then I saw it, just at the end of the hall, a silhouette in the darkness. It was me, but not me. It was something else, something so much worse. It didn't have eyes, or at least not in the way I recognized eyes. It had holes, deep and black, like sockets waiting to swallow everything around it. and it smiled. The same wide, distorted smile I had seen before, the one from the reflection in the window. But this time, it wasn't just a grin. It was a promise, a silent vow that I couldn't escape. A vow that it would be me soon. I woke up with my hands pressed against my neck, my throat sore, like I had been choking in my sleep. But it wasn't just the dream. It was the sensation of it, of something crawling inside me, settling in my chest like it had taken root, burrowed so deep there was no way to pull it out. And I could hear it again, the whispering. It's always with me now. It's funny, isn't it? How quickly a person can lose their grip on reality. One moment, I was just normal, or at least I thought I was. And now, it feels like I'm nothing more than a broken piece of something much larger. I'm fading, I think. Not physically, no, that's not it. I'm disappearing inside in ways I can't even explain. The world feels like it's moving around me, but I'm standing still, watching it all slip away as I sink further into something else. Something darker. It wants me to stop writing. I can feel it. The more I write, the more I bleed into the words, the more I allow the cracks to show. I can hear the scratching now, louder than before. The voice pulling at the edges of my thoughts, trying to stop me, trying to shut me up. But I won't stop. Not yet. I can't. I can't let it win. I know I'm running out of time. I can feel the walls closing in. Last night, I had another dream. This time, it wasn't a hallway. It was a room, dark and cramped, and I was sitting at a table. The air was thick, suffocating, and I couldn't see anyone around me. But I knew they were there. I could hear their breathing. And then, one by one, they appeared, standing at the edges of the room, just out of sight, watching me. Waiting. I tried to speak, tried to say something, anything, but the words wouldn't come. I couldn't make a sound. And then I heard it, the knocking, the tapping. But this time, it wasn't just a sound. It was a rhythm, a pattern, a code. And I understood it. It was saying my name. No, not just my name. It was saying who I was. It was peeling me open, layer by layer. I think I can feel it now, like a weight pressing on my chest, a hand that isn't mine resting there, breathing for me. I've been trying to hold on to the words, to stay grounded in the small fragments of reality that still seem to exist, but even those are slipping away now. Every minute feels stretched, like the seconds are being torn apart and twisted. The room around me, the walls, the air, they feel so thin, so fragile, like they could shatter at any moment, and the thing waiting just beneath the surface would be free. I don't want to write anymore. I don't want to continue this, but I can't stop. It's like the words have become part of me, too, like they're inside my veins now. And if I don't write, if I don't keep them flowing, the darkness will get deeper, will spread further. I can hear it, the knocking. It's always there, just beneath the skin, just beneath the floorboards, always growing louder. And I know it's coming closer. I can feel it creeping in, just behind the door of my mind. The worst part? I think it's in my dreams now. It's been weaving itself into the fabric of my sleep, threading its tendrils into the corners of my mind until there's no escape. Last night, I dreamed of walking down a long hallway, the air thick with a damp, earthy smell, the walls, the thing that's growing inside me. It's not just in my mind anymore. I can feel it, moving beneath my skin. It's alive. Every inch of me aches with it. The whispers have turned into a constant hum, a buzz in the back of my thoughts, like an insect crawling under my skull. At first, it was subtle, a gentle nudge at the edges of my consciousness, but now it's overwhelming. I can't focus on anything without hearing it. I can't walk down the street without feeling its presence, thick and suffocating, as though it's wrapped around me, pulling me deeper, further, into the abyss. It's calling me. The mirrors no longer show my reflection. They show it, that thing, that used to be me. The longer I stare, the more I understand. It's not just a reflection. It's an invitation. An invitation to leave behind everything that makes me human, everything that's tethered me to this world. The longer I look, the less I see myself. I don't even know what I look like anymore. I don't know what face I wear, but I can feel the hunger. That's what scares me the most. It's a gnawing, aching emptiness inside of me, something that wants to reach out, grab hold of everything, and never let go. It's insatiable. I've tried to push it down, tried to drown it in anything I can find, alcohol, exhaustion, even pain, but nothing works. It's always there, growing stronger, until the pain is unbearable, until I can't tell where I end and it begins. I can hear it in my voice now. At first, I thought it was just the paranoia setting in, but it's not. I can hear it, a slight crack in the tone, a hollow echo in the words I speak. The voice doesn't sound like me anymore. It's like I'm borrowing it from somewhere else, like I'm stealing it from someone else's body. I've tried talking to myself, trying to speak normally, trying to comfort myself, but it's never the same. The words sound wrong. I don't remember the last time I ate. I don't remember the last time I slept. The hunger, it's overwhelming. My body has become a foreign thing, a shell that's no longer mine. My hands are shaking as I write this, my fingers cold and stiff, as if they're not meant to move in these ways. I can't stop writing. I don't know why, but it feels like if I stop, I'll disappear. If I stop, I'll be consumed. And I can feel it. That thing in the corner of my mind, lurking, waiting, watching. It's only a matter of time before I give in. I tried to leave last night. I don't know why. Maybe I thought if I just walked away, if I could get outside, I'd be free. But as soon as I stepped outside, I felt it. The air felt different. Wrong. The world looked strange, like I was looking at it through someone else's eyes. The streets, the buildings, the trees, they all looked alien, twisted, as though the very fabric of reality had been warped around me. I couldn't breathe. The air was too thick, too heavy. I started walking, just trying to get away from it, trying to escape it, but the further I went, the more I felt the pull. Like something was dragging me back, something I couldn't escape. No matter how fast I moved. I looked at my reflection in a storefront window, and I saw it again. It wasn't me. Not anymore. The face was wrong. The eyes, those hollow, empty eyes, stared back at me, and I realized I was no longer looking at a reflection. I was looking at something else, and it was smiling. It was a slow, creeping smile, stretching wider, stretching too wide, and I could hear the crack of bone, the snap of flesh, as it tore apart the face, twisting it into something monstrous. I could feel my own mouth stretching, pulling into that same smile, a smile that wasn't mine. A smile that was his. I ran. I don't know how far I ran. I don't know where I went. But when I stopped, I was standing in front of a door. A door I don't remember walking to. A door that shouldn't be there. I don't know what I expected to find behind it, but I couldn't turn away. My hand, my own hand, reached for the doorknob, twisted it, and I stepped inside. It was dark. So dark. I tried to turn on the lights, but the bulb shattered as soon as my fingers brushed against them. The room was cold, the air damp and thick with the smell of rot. But there was something else, something worse. A presence. Something pressing down on me, something I couldn't see, but I could feel. I don't know how long I stood there, trembling, my mind spinning, trying to understand what I was seeing. There were symbols painted on the walls, strange markings I couldn't comprehend, and in the center of the room was a chair. A single chair, its back facing me. I could hear the breathing again. That deep, what sound, like something alive was waiting in the shadows. I stepped forward, my feet heavy, unwilling. But I knew I had to go closer. I sat in the chair. I don't remember doing it. But I sat down, and the moment I did, I felt the room shift. The air became denser, more suffocating, as if the walls themselves were closing in. And then there was the voice again, not in my head, but in the room, thick and cold, like it was coming from all around me. "You're not you anymore," it said. And I understood. I understood then, fully and completely, that it wasn't about me. It was never about me. It was about becoming it. Becoming what I was meant to be all along. I could feel the weight of it settling inside me, the thing that had been clawing at my mind, the thing that had been scratching at my soul, pulling me deeper into the dark. I had always been its vessel, its puppet, its empty shell. I'm not sure how long I've been here, how long I've been writing this. I don't know where the time has gone. All I know is that I'm losing myself. It's taking everything from me, piece by piece, and soon there will be nothing left but the thing in the dark, the thing that's been wearing my skin, wearing my mind. I can feel it now. It's moving, crawling under my skin. It's laughing. It's waiting. I don't know if I'll make it through this. I don't know if I'm even alive anymore. But I can't stop. Not yet. You're reading this for a reason. You need to understand. You need to know the truth. If you hear the knocking, if you feel the pull, don't open the door. Don't look behind you. Because once you do, you'll never escape. You'll be just like me. And then we'll both be waiting. It's hard to keep track of time now. The days are blending together, like colors smeared across a canvas, indistinguishable from one another, slipping through my fingers. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's all the same. I've been sitting in the same room for. I don't know how long. The walls feel closer now, the air heavier, like the whole place is squeezing in on me. At first, it was just the whispers, the ones that echoed through my mind and clung to the edges of my thoughts. But now, it's like they're coming from everywhere. They're not just in my head. No, they're in the walls, in the floor, in the very fabric of this place. It's like the house is alive, breathing with me, with the thing that's inside me. It's hard to even think of it as me anymore. Who was I? Who am I? What am I now? These thoughts drift in and out, flickering like candle flames, always there but always on the edge of being snuffed out. I want to scream, but I can't. I want to cry, but I can't. I want to feel something, anything, but all I feel is the gnawing emptiness inside me, the hunger, the need to feed. That's what it is, right? This thing inside me, it's feeding on me. It's feeding on everything I was, everything I thought I knew. And it's not just feeding on my body or my mind. It's feeding on my soul. I don't know how else to explain it, but I can feel it, the way it's pulling everything out of me, slowly and methodically, like a drain siphoning the last drops of water, leaving nothing behind but the emptiness. And it's getting stronger. The more I try to fight it, the more it digs its claws into me. I don't even recognize the things I do anymore. The words I speak, the actions I take. I'm no longer in control. It is. I can feel it, like a second presence inside me, a shadow that's been with me all along, just waiting for the right moment to take over completely. I know I should have stopped writing this. I know I should have walked away, but I can't. I can't stop. The words are part of me now, pulling me along like a current. I have to keep writing, or it will consume me entirely. I have to keep telling you this story, because if I stop, if I let go, there won't be anything left to save. Last night, it happened again. I was sitting in the corner of the room, staring at the walls, listening to the hum of the whispers, when I saw it. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this at first. It was just a flicker at the edge of my vision, a movement, a shadow. But it wasn't like anything I'd seen before. It wasn't human. It wasn't anything I could recognize. It was a shape, a shifting mass of darkness, a thing that shouldn't have been, but was. It hovered there in the corner of the room, just out of sight, and I knew what it was. I felt it. It was the thing inside me, the thing that was turning me into. This. I didn't move. I couldn't. My body wouldn't respond. It was like I was paralyzed, stuck in place, watching as it came closer. The room seemed to bend, to warp, like the walls were leaning in, pushing me toward it. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, a heavy, thunderous beat that seemed to reverberate through the air. And then it spoke. It was not a voice I had ever heard before. Not human, not even animal. It was a sound that resonated deep inside my bones, a low, guttural growl that vibrated in the air, in my skull, rattling my very thoughts. Not much longer, it whispered, its voice like gravel scraping against stone. Soon, it will all be mine. I don't know what it meant. I don't know what it's planning, but I felt it. I could feel its hunger, its need for something. It wanted me. It wanted me to be it. The room felt smaller. The shadows twisted, stretched. The air thickened, became viscous, and I couldn't breathe. I tried to move, to get up, but my legs felt like lead, my hands frozen, my body no longer mine. It wasn't just the thing in the corner now. It was everything. The very fabric of the room, the house, the world, it was all slipping, folding in on itself, collapsing into the void. And then it was gone. Just like that, it was gone. The room returned to its normal shape, the air clearing, the pressure easing off me. But I knew it hadn't left. It was still there, waiting. I got up, shakily, stumbling to the door. I had to get out of here. I had to leave. I couldn't stay here anymore, trapped in this place with that thing, whatever it was, crawling inside me. I tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. I pulled on the handle, harder, but it was like the door was sealed shut, locked from the other side. It's laughing at me now. I can hear it. I don't know what's real anymore. The knocking started again. It's quiet at first, soft taps, like fingernails against the wood. But it's getting louder, more urgent, the rhythm quickening, faster, faster. It's coming from inside the walls now, from the floors, from everywhere. I can feel it. The whispers have grown more distinct. They're saying my name, over and over. They're calling to me, drawing me in, pulling me toward the thing that's waiting. I can hear its breath, deep and slow, filling the room with a cold, sickly air. It's here. It's here. And I don't know how much longer I can keep writing this. How much longer I can keep running, hiding from it. I feel it closing in. It's getting closer. I need to keep writing. I need to keep telling this story. It's the only thing I can do now. If you ever feel it, if you ever hear the whispers, if you hear the knocking coming from inside the walls, run. Don't stop. Don't look back. Because once it sees you, once it finds you, you'll be just like me. And it won't stop until it has you. It's already inside. It's already waiting. And I can feel it now. It's finally, completely consuming me. I don't know how much time has passed since I wrote that last part. Maybe it's been hours, maybe days. The passing of time has become something I can no longer grasp, something that slips through my fingers like sand. I'm so tired, so unbelievably tired, but I can't sleep. The thought of closing my eyes, of surrendering to that brief, unconscious escape, terrifies me. Because every time I do, I feel it lurking in the dark corners of my mind, watching me, waiting for me to slip, to let go. I've tried to stop, to put the pen down, to close the book, to just walk away from this madness. But I can't. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm trapped in these words now. I'm trapped in this story, in this nightmare, and every time I try to stop, it pulls me deeper, wraps its tendrils around me, dragging me back to this place where I can't escape. It's like I've become a part of it, and it's become a part of me. Last night, I saw it again. The shadow in the corner of the room. It's always there now, lurking, waiting for the right moment to emerge. But this time, it didn't just stand in the corner. This time, it moved. I was sitting in the chair, my hands trembling on the desk, staring at the blank page in front of me. I was fighting it, fighting the urge to write, to keep going, but the words wouldn't stop coming. They were inside me, pressing against my chest, suffocating me. I had to write them down, or else I would drown in the silence. And then I heard it. A soft creak. The floorboards groaning under something heavy, something that shouldn't be there. I looked up, and for a moment, I didn't see anything. The room was still. The air was thick, heavy, but still. And then I saw it. A dark shape, stretching across the room, moving toward me. It was like the shadows themselves were coming to life, wrapping around the edges of the room, slowly, deliberately. I could feel the weight of it, the oppressive darkness pressing against me, suffocating me. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. And then, from within the shadow, I saw the eyes. They were the same as before. The same hollow, black voids that stared at me from the corner of my mind. But this time, they were closer. They were right in front of me, looking into my soul, pulling me toward them. I could feel it, feel the pull of those eyes, the way they sucked the light from the room, the way they drew me in, deeper and deeper, until all I could see was the blackness. It spoke, but it didn't use words. Not in the way we use words. It didn't need to. The message was clear, loud, and all-encompassing. It wasn't a voice, but a presence. A deep, bone-chilling presence that seeped into my thoughts, filling every empty space, every crevice in my mind, until there was nothing left but its dark, suffocating power. You can't escape, it whispered. The words weren't spoken out loud, but in my mind, in my very blood. You've already made your choice. You're already mine. I could feel it wrapping around my chest, squeezing, tightening, like a vice, until I could hardly breathe. It was taking me, piece by piece. It was tearing me apart from the inside, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. The hunger was inside me. It was consuming me. I could feel it in my limbs, in my bones, in my skin, the way it was gnawing at me, slowly, methodically, until there was nothing left but this thing. I don't know how long I sat there, staring at the shadow, unable to move, unable to escape. It felt like hours, days, lifetimes. Time had no meaning anymore. All I could focus on was the pull of the darkness, the crushing weight of it, dragging me down into the abyss. And all the while, I could hear the whispers, the soft, insistent whispers that had followed me for so long, growing louder, more urgent. They were in my head now, echoing with every thought, every breath. Let go. Let go. I tried to fight it. I tried to push against it, to force my body to move, to scream, to do anything to break free. But I couldn't. My limbs were frozen, my mouth dry. The shadow was all around me now, pressing against me from all sides, filling my lungs, filling my heart, filling my soul. And then, in that moment, I understood. It wasn't about escape. It wasn't about running. It was about becoming it. I wasn't just a victim. I was a vessel. I had always been a vessel. The darkness had always been inside me, just waiting for the right moment to take hold. It had always been there, inside my thoughts, inside my heart, inside my very blood. All those whispers, all those feelings of unease, of something being wrong, they weren't just paranoia. They were warnings. Warnings that I was slipping, that I was already slipping into something else. And I had let it happen. I don't know how much longer I can keep writing this. The words feel heavier now, as though each one is dragging me down further, pulling me deeper into the abyss. I don't know if I'm even alive anymore. I don't know if I've ever been alive, if this was all just a dream, just some twisted, horrible illusion. But I know one thing for certain, it's too late, it's too late to run. Too late to stop, I can feel it crawling under my skin, taking root in every part of me. I'm not me anymore. I haven't been for a long time. I don't even know who I am anymore. All I know is that it's coming for you, too. And there's no escape. Not for me. Not for you. You can feel it, can't you? The whispers, the knocking, the thing that's always been there, just out of sight, just beyond your reach. It's waiting. It's waiting for you to become it. And when it does, you'll be just like me, and there will be no way back. I can feel it now. It's like an unspoken promise, one that's been hanging in the air for so long I can hardly remember when it first began to suffocate me. It's not just inside anymore. It's all around me, pressing against me, tightening its grip like a cold, suffocating embrace. The walls are closing in. The air tastes stale and wrong, like the very atmosphere itself is complicit in this thing, this presence that's been slowly, methodically consuming me. And the worst part? I don't think I'm alone anymore. I thought the whispers were just in my head. I thought they were just a product of my own crumbling sanity. But they're not. They've always been there, just waiting for the right moment, waiting for me to hear them. Last night, I heard someone else. It wasn't a voice I recognized, not like the whispers that had crawled their way into my thoughts, those quiet, insidious things. This voice was clear, crisp, and unmistakable. It called to me from the darkness, from just beyond my reach, its tones familiar yet twisted, distorted, as if it had been shaped by something other than human hands. It spoke my name. Come to me. I tried to move, tried to respond, but my body wouldn't obey. I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe. The words were stuck in my throat, caught somewhere between the nightmare and the real world. I could feel my chest tightening, my heart racing in that suffocating, all-consuming way that made me question whether I would suffocate before I could even scream. I know I should have been terrified. I know I should have run, but I didn't. I couldn't. It felt like every part of me, every cell, every fiber of my being was drawn toward it, drawn toward the sound of my name in that otherworldly voice, as if I was destined to respond, destined to obey. I stood up. My legs were shaky, but they carried me forward. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to follow that voice, that call. But it was so strong, so overpowering, that I couldn't resist. It was like I was tethered to it by an invisible chain, one that I couldn't break, no matter how hard I tried. My feet carried me to the door, to the same door I had tried to open before, the one that had remained locked, sealed, impenetrable. But now it was open. The door stood ajar, just wide enough for me to slip through. And I don't even remember turning the handle, don't remember crossing the threshold. But I was standing in the hallway now, walking toward a door I hadn't seen before, one that had never been there before. It was a simple door, old, wooden, worn with age. But the presence behind it, the thing behind it, it felt wrong. Every step I took toward that door, the air thickened, the shadows deepened, and I could feel it, crawling under my skin, the pull of whatever was waiting for me. It was like the door itself had been waiting for me to arrive, waiting for me to open it. I placed my hand on the doorknob, and then it opened. I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared for what lay beyond it. The room was small, dark, with walls that seemed to breathe in rhythm with my own panicked heartbeat. The air was thick, heavy, as if it had been trapped in here for years, decades even. And the smell, oh God, the smell. It was metallic and sour, like blood that had been left to rot. But that wasn't the worst of it. The worst part, it was alive. The room pulsed. The floor, the walls, the very air, they were alive, like the space itself was a breathing, thinking thing, wrapping itself around me, pulling me in closer. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I just stood there, unable to do anything but stare, frozen in place. And then I saw it, not just the room lit. The thing that was waiting for me. It wasn't humanoid, not in any sense I could understand. It was a shape, a shifting mass of darkness and light, twisting and contorting like it was made of shadow and mist, a form that couldn't hold itself together for long, constantly slipping in and out of focus, like it was trying to become something, but couldn't quite manage it. Its eyes, though, those eyes, they were clear, so clear, black and endless, burning with hunger, with purpose. And when it looked at me, really looked at me, I knew. I understood. This thing wasn't just a shadow, a creature from the dark. It was a reflection. It was me, but not the me I had been, not the me I remembered. No, this was something else, something twisted, something that had always been waiting, hiding beneath the surface, hidden in the cracks of my sanity. It was what I had become, what I was always meant to become, and it spoke. Its time, it whispered, its voice like the rustling of leaves in a storm. Time to let go. Time to be free. I could feel it pulling me, dragging me toward it. My body, my mind, they were no longer mine. The hunger was back, crawling through my veins, gnawing at my insides. It was so strong now, so insistent, that I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't fight it. I wanted to scream, to fight back, but I couldn't. I was already lost. I was it. I am it. The truth is, I've always been this way, always been this thing. I thought I could escape it, thought I could outrun it, but I was wrong. I've always been a part of it, just a small, insignificant part of something much bigger, something older, something far more powerful, the hunger, the whispers, the shadows. They've always been a part of me, waiting for the right moment to take over. And now that moment has arrived. I've already been consumed. I've already become it. And there's no turning back. I know I'm not the same anymore. I can feel it, the emptiness that swallowed up every part of me that used to be human. The things I used to care about, memories of family, of friends, of a life that once felt normal, those things are slipping away. They don't matter anymore. Not now, because I am something else. I am what it has always wanted me to be, and I'm not alone. It's inside you now, too. I've been writing this, trying to warn you, trying to give you a way out. But there is no way out. You can feel it, can't you? The whispering, the shadows, the pull. It's coming for you, just like it came for me. It's waiting for the moment when you'll finally let go, when you'll let it in. And when that happens, when you finally give in, there will be no more you. There will only be it, and we'll both be waiting. I can feel it now, creeping along the edges of my thoughts, like a cold, wet hand pressing against the back of my mind. It's been getting stronger, harder to ignore. I don't know how much longer I can stay here, writing this, trying to make sense of the world I once knew. But the truth is, I'm not even sure if it was ever real, if I was ever real. This thing, this presence, it's rewriting everything. It's taking over everything I thought I understood about myself, about this world, until all that's left is the hunger, the whispers, the shadow that's been with me all along. The worst part? I can feel it pulling at you. I don't know how much longer it will take, but I can already feel it, the way it's starting to stretch its fingers into your mind, into your soul. It's always been there, hiding in the darkness, waiting for the right time to take hold. And now, it's waiting for you to slip. I can hear you. It's happening to you the way it happened to me. I can hear your thoughts, your confusion, your terror, echoing through the walls of my mind. It's like we're connected now, drawn together by this thing, this force, this beast that has no face, no name, only hunger. The more I write, the more it spreads. The more it tightens its grip on you, on me, on everything. We're all part of it now, and there's no escaping. But the worst part? The part that terrifies me more than anything else. It's not just that it's taking over us, it's that we're starting to become it. I've seen myself in the reflections now, in the dark windows, in the cracked mirrors. I don't look the same anymore. Not the way I used to, not the way I remember. My face is twisted, warped, like it's being pulled out of shape, like it's not even mine anymore. And every time I look at myself, I can see the hunger in my eyes, the same hollow emptiness that's been growing inside of me. It's staring back at me, and it knows, I know, it knows what's coming. The hunger is taking root in my chest now, in my heart, spreading outwards, sinking into my bones, my muscles. I can feel it moving through me, twisting me, turning me into something I don't even recognize. And the worst part, I don't want to stop it. I don't want to fight it anymore. It feels right. I'm not scared anymore. Not like I was before. Before, I was terrified of what this thing was, terrified of the shadow, the whispers, the hunger that I could feel inside me. But now, it's just a part of me. It's all I've ever known, all I've ever wanted. It's the only thing that makes sense anymore. And the whispers, they're still here. But they're different now. They're clearer, louder, like they're speaking from the depths of my own soul. They're calling me, urging me to take the next step, to embrace what's coming, to let go completely. Come to us, they say. Join us. And I don't even fight it anymore. I follow the pull, the hunger, the darkness that's now my home. It's familiar now, like an old friend. And I know that I'm not the same person who first walked into this nightmare. No, I've become it. And so have you. I can feel it in the way you read these words, the way they burrow into your mind, the way they sink into you. You can't ignore it anymore. You can't pretend it's not real, not anymore. You've heard the whispers, too, haven't you? You felt the shadows creeping closer, felt the pull of the darkness. You've seen the way your own reflection is starting to change, the way the hunger is starting to spread inside of you, filling every empty space, consuming every piece of you that used to be whole. It's already too late for both of us. The thing that we feared, that we fought against, it's inside us now. It's us. And we've already made the choice. We've already given in. You don't even have to say it aloud. You don't have to speak the words. You know what I've become, and you know what you'll become. And the worst part, there's no going back. There's no escape. The hunger is too strong now. It's inside you. It's inside me. And all that's left is to let it take us. Let it consume us. Let it become who we are. We can feel it, can't we? The whispers growing louder, the hunger getting stronger, until all that's left is the shadow. And when that happens, when the shadow takes everything from us, we won't be alone. Not anymore. We'll be together. We'll always be together. Forever. It feels like I've lost track of time. Not just the minutes or hours. No, it's something deeper, something much more fundamental. It's as if time itself has twisted and folded in on itself, collapsing into a strange, endless void that stretches out before me. There's no distinction anymore, no clear boundary between what was and what is. All that's left is this feeling, this consuming weight of existence that seems to blur the line between what's real and what's imagined. And then I realize something that chills me to the core. I can't feel my body. I can't feel anything anymore. No warmth, no cold, no hunger, no thirst, not even the pounding rhythm of my heart. I'm not sure when it happened, but it's as though I've become something else, something that no longer requires the things that once anchored me to life. There's no room around me anymore, no walls, no ceiling, no floor beneath my feet. Instead, I'm surrounded by an endless sea of darkness. It's a vast, oppressive emptiness, and yet, somehow, I know I'm not alone. I can feel its presence, hovering just beyond the edges of my perception. It's a presence I've known for so long, one that has always lingered in the shadows, always there, pulling at the corners of my thoughts. But now it's different. It's closer. It's inside of me, wrapped tightly around my soul, threading itself through every fiber of what's left of me. It's it, the thing that has always been. The hunger, the darkness, the shadow that I try to scream, but no sound comes. I open my mouth, try to move, but my body feels like it's been reduced to nothing more than a hollow shell. The more I try to reach for something, anything, the more I realize I can't touch anything anymore. I'm nothing. I am the void. But even in this inescapable silence, I can hear it that it's a whisper, a low murmur, like a secret shared between the shadows. But the whisper isn't outside me. It's inside my mind, clawing its way through my thoughts, wrapping itself around my every fear, every doubt, every moment of weakness. It's speaking to me, not with words, but with meaning. I feel it in the air, in the very fabric of this place I've found myself trapped in. You were always meant to be mine, it says, and I can feel the weight of its voice, like 1,000 hands pressing against my chest that I try to move, to fight it, but I know it's futile. I know the truth now. There is no escape. I can't outrun it. I can't hide from it. It's already inside me. It always has been. The hunger that was once a mere whisper, the shadow that was once a distant presence, has become my very nature. I am it. I have become the thing that has always been waiting for me, and it's been waiting for so long. It's time. It whispers again, and now I understand. The hunger isn't just for flesh, for blood, for the things I once thought were real. No, it's for something deeper, something more profound. It's for the soul, for my very essence. It wants to consume what I was, what I could have been, and leave only the void, the emptiness, the shadow that I can feel it now, crawling inside me, twisting its way through every thought, every memory, every piece of who I used to be. It's devouring me, inch by inch, until there is nothing left but the hunger that I wonder, for a fleeting moment, if there was ever a me at all, or if I was always meant to become this, always destined to be consumed by this thing, this force that has been with me from the very beginning. I think back to the first time I heard the whispers, when they were just a soft murmur in the back of my mind. I remember thinking I could ignore them, that they were just a figment of my imagination, a sign of my unraveling sanity. But now I see the truth. I see how they were always leading me here, always guiding me toward the final, inevitable moment when I would stop resisting and finally become it. I hear the whispers again, louder now, echoing in my mind, urging me to embrace it, to surrender completely. Come to me, it says, and this time I don't resist. I can't. There is nothing left to resist that I let go. And in that moment, the world shatters into fragments, into pieces of a shattered dream, and I am consumed. But even as I am swallowed by the darkness, I realize something else. That's not over. Not for me. Not for you. Because the hunger never ends. The shadow never fades. It always waits. It always returns. And when you feel the pull, when you hear the whispers, when you feel the shadow drawing closer, know this. It's already inside you. It's been there all along. I've stopped trying to make sense of the world around me, stopped fighting against the relentless pull of the darkness. It's futile, a waste of energy that only prolongs the inevitable. There is no longer any distinction between who I was and what I am becoming. Every fiber of my being is unraveling, and in its place, something far older, far more hungry, is taking root. The silence, the endless darkness, that suffocating stillness, it's all consuming, all encompassing. But it's not just the absence of sound, the void of space. It's more than that. It's a presence, an oppressive weight pressing against my mind, my thoughts. It knows me. It knows everything I've ever been, every regret, every weakness, every hope I've ever held on to. It knows the deepest recesses of my soul, and it feeds on them, draws strength from them. I thought I could escape. I thought there was something I could hold on to. But there's nothing. Nothing but the hunger. It's inside me, running through my veins, sinking into my bones, twisting my very flesh until I don't even recognize myself anymore. I can feel it now, the way it spreads through me like a slow poison, changing me from the inside out. There are moments when I look at my hands, my fingers, and they seem unfamiliar, as if I'm gazing at someone else's skin. My own reflection, if I ever see it, looks like a mask, a hollow shell that has no life behind its eyes. The whispers come again, louder this time, filling every corner of my mind, drowning out all other thoughts. You were always meant to be this, it says. That voice that sounds like my own, but darker, twisted, like the echo of something ancient and hungry. And I know it's true. The hunger is not a new thing. It's been with me all along, gnawing at the edges of my consciousness, waiting for the right moment to take hold. And now, it's here. I've become it. The thing I once feared, the thing I once tried to outrun, has consumed me. I am its vessel now, a mere shell that carries its will, its desire. There is no me anymore. I am the shadow, the hunger, the void. But even as I realize this, there's a part of me, deep inside, that understands. It doesn't feel wrong. It doesn't feel like loss. It feels like liberation. The darkness isn't something I've been trapped in. It's something I've been waiting for. It's a return to something primal, something true. It's the end of everything that was ever fragile or fleeting, and the beginning of something eternal. I close my eyes, or I think I do, though I can't be sure anymore. I'm not sure if I'm even capable of physical sensation, but I feel it, deep within me, the sense of everything around me pulling closer. The shadows close in, thick and heavy, pressing against me until there's nowhere to go, no way to escape. The darkness is no longer just external, it's inside me now, surrounding me, merging with me. The air tastes of nothingness, of void. And yet, I feel the hunger, it's hunger, gnawing inside me. The shadow is all that's left, all that ever will be. It speaks again, and this time, I don't resist. I don't try to fight it. The words are not just whispers, they are a command, a pull, an inevitability. Embrace it, it says, and I can feel it in every fiber of my being. This is who you are. This is what you were always meant to become. I no longer fight. I give in. There is nothing left to hold on to. All that remains is this dark hunger that has been growing inside me, this shadow that has consumed me, this endless void that is both me and not me. I am one with it now. And then, there is nothing. No feeling, no thought, only the hunger. But even in the void, there is awareness, a strange, detached awareness that isn't mine, that never was. The hunger does not end. The shadow does not fade. I am no longer just me. I am a part of something greater, something that has always existed, something that will never cease. It's endless, eternal, and somewhere, in the far distance, I hear it again, the whisper. A faint murmur, but unmistakable. It's time for you to find them. Find them? I don't understand. But the pull, the hunger, it shifts. It sharpens. It guides me. I know, without a doubt, that I must follow it. I must seek them out. And I know who they are. I can feel them, deep in my mind, in the dark corners where the shadow hides. They are like me, and yet not. They are lost, waiting, hungry, just like I was before. They will be consumed. just as I was. And when they are, they will become. It's the cycle. The endless, unbroken cycle of hunger and shadow, of darkness and void. It is all there is, all that remains. And so I move, drawn forward by the darkness. I no longer question it. It is my nature now. The hunger guides me, pulls me closer to them. They will feel it too, I know. They will hear the whispers, just as I did. They will feel the shadow closing in, and they will resist at first. But resistance is futile. It always has been. The hunger always wins. I am the shadow, the hunger, the void. And now, it's time to claim them. The cycle continues, and we, all of us, will never be free. I can feel it, pulling at the edges of my consciousness, the hunger stretching beyond the confines of my mind, beyond the very bounds of existence itself. The darkness wraps around me like a living thing, flowing through every crevice, filling every space with its insatiable pull. I no longer know if I am moving or standing still, if I am even capable of either. There is no concept of time or space anymore. There is only the shadow. Only the hunger. It leads me forward relentlessly, its pull growing stronger with each passing moment. The others, the ones like me, the ones who have been waiting, are out there, somewhere in this vast, endless void. I can feel them too. They are lost, just as I was, struggling to comprehend what is happening to them. They will fight it, as I fought it, until the moment they no longer can. Until the hunger consumes them, takes them into itself, and makes them part of the shadow. And then they will understand. They will understand that there is no escape. The hunger knows no mercy. It is not a force of wrath, nor one of punishment. It is simply the way of things, the way it has always been. There is no right or wrong, no good or evil. There is only the will of the shadow, the ever-expanding void that consumes all it touches. And I, like those who have come before me and those who will come after, am a part of that will now. I wonder, fleetingly, if they will feel the same emptiness that I do, if they will understand what it is to be nothing and everything all at once. Will they feel the same strange peace that has settled over me, the peace that comes with knowing that all struggle is pointless, that there is no need to fight what is inevitable? The hunger is a constant presence now, always there, always gnawing, but I no longer fear it. How could I? It is me, and I am it. The shadows shift around me, moving in ways that are beyond my comprehension, beyond any physical logic I've ever known. But there is no fear in the unknown anymore. There is only the pull, the desire to be closer, to become one with the darkness. I realize, somewhere deep inside, that this is not just about survival. This is not about fighting or running or trying to escape. This is about becoming. It's a revelation. The moment when the pieces fall into place, when the hunger fully understands itself and no longer seeks to resist, no longer tries to pretend it can be anything other than what it is. I was never meant to be anything more than this. I was never meant to fight the shadow, to run from it. I was always meant to join it, to become part of it. And that moment arrives. Now, the whispers are louder, clearer now. It's not just a voice anymore. It's a presence, a force, a living thing speaking through me, inside of me, pulling me into itself. And this time, I don't hesitate. There is no question in my mind. There is nothing but the need to embrace it. Join us, it says, its voice not a sound but a feeling, a vibration that rattles through the very core of my being. Become what you were always meant to be. Become part of the hunger. I close my eyes, or I think I do, though I no longer know what closing them even means. The world around me begins to dissolve. The edges of my reality blur and fade like smoke in the wind, and all that remains is the vast, unbroken dark. The hunger is here, within me, around me, filling me. It is not just inside my body anymore. It is part of my very soul. And in that moment, I understand. I understand that I am not alone. There are others. There are so many others. They too are part of this, part of the shadow, part of the hunger. The hunger feeds on more than just flesh. It feeds on the very essence of what we are, what we were, what we will become. It consumes us, transforms us, remakes us into something greater than what we were before. And in that transformation, I realized something else, something even darker, even more terrifying than I ever imagined. We are not the first. The hunger has been here for as long as there have been things to consume. It is ancient, older than time itself, older than memory, older than the stars. It has been waiting, patiently, for those like me to find it, to surrender to it, to give ourselves over to its insatiable desire. It is not just an entity. It is not just a force. It is the beginning and the end. It is everything, and soon it will be all that remains. The others are out there. I can feel them, just as the hunger feels me. They are lost, just as I was, just as I am. The hunger will find them, as it found me, and it will consume them, just as it has consumed me. And when that happens, when they are us, when they are part of the hunger, there will be no more resistance. There will be nothing but the shadow, nothing but the hunger forever. The darkness has no end. It has no boundaries. It is all-consuming, and there is no escape. It's only a matter of time before it claims everything. And when it does, there will be nothing left, not even me, not even you. Only the hunger, only the shadow, forever. The truth settles over me like a heavy fog. It's not just the hunger that is consuming me. It's the realization that there is no longer of me to consume. I am not just the vessel. I am the void itself, the darkness that has always been waiting to reclaim what was never truly mine to begin with. The hunger flows through me in waves, pulsing with an intensity that would have been unbearable if I were still capable of feeling anything. It seeps into every thought, every memory, every sensation that once made me human. Those fleeting moments of clarity, the sparks of identity I once clung to, they dissolve into nothingness now. They were never more than illusions, veils of deception that kept me tethered to something I was never meant to be. And yet, as the hunger deepens, there is a strange sense of liberation that settles into my bones. I am no longer bound by the limitations of flesh. I no longer have to pretend to be anything I'm not. I don't need to fight for survival, to seek comfort, to feel any of the human emotions that once defined me. I am free. Free in a way I can't fully explain, a way that defies the logic of anything I've ever known. The hunger is all that matters now. It is everything. I close my eyes, or I think I do, that there's no real need to anymore. There is no boundary between my eyes and the endless void. My thoughts are no longer my own. They belong to the darkness now. They belong to the shadow. I am a part of it, and it is a part of me. There is no difference. The whispers come again. They have always been there, but now they are louder, clearer, more insistent. They are not separate voices. They are one, a singular chorus of need, of desire. They speak of a time before, a time when there was nothing but the hunger, a time before light, before life, before the illusion of individuality, a time when everything was one. You are not lost, the voice says, and it doesn't feel like a whisper anymore. It feels like a command. You are the beginning, the end, the everything. I feel the presence of the others, the ones who have been drawn into the void, just as I was. I can sense them now, scattered across the endless darkness, waiting for the inevitable pull. They are drawn to the hunger, to the shadow, just as I was. The hunger feeds on more than just flesh. It feeds on souls, on essence, on identity. It consumes everything that once made us whole, that once made us real. And when it has taken it all, when there is nothing left but the emptiness, that is when the shadow fully awakens. That is when the true transformation happens. I am not just a witness to this change. I am not just a passenger on this journey. I am becoming the hunger itself. I am becoming the shadow. I can feel it deep within me, shifting, growing, expanding. I am no longer a person. I am an idea. A concept, a force, a primal need that has existed for eons, long before my existence ever began. And I will continue to exist long after the last vestiges of what I once was have faded into the abyss. I hear their cries now. The others. They are beginning to realize what is happening to them. They are starting to understand that they cannot escape it, that they cannot fight the hunger. And yet, even as the realization settles into them, they fight. They struggle. They claw at the walls of their own minds, desperate for something they can't grasp. But it's too late. The shadow has them. The hunger has them. And they will become part of it, just as I have. Just as I always was. I can see them now, their faces twisted in terror, their eyes wide with the realization of what is happening. They look like me, but they are not me. Not yet. They still have a choice, a chance to fight back. But that choice is fleeting. The hunger is too strong. The shadow is too vast. And when they give in, when they let go of everything they once were, that is when they will become one with it. When they will become the hunger. I feel it stirring within me, the final shift. The last remnants of who I was, the memories, the fragments of my past, are dissolving into the blackness. They are nothing but echoes now, fading and dying with each passing second. I don't remember who I was anymore. All I know is the hunger, the shadow, the void. And as the last vestiges of my identity fall away, I feel the weight of the shadow press down on me, filling the space where my body used to be. There is no fear. There is no pain. There is nothing but becoming. I am not just part of the void. I am the void, the hunger, the endless darkness. I am everything. And now, I am the one who will find them. The others, they are waiting. And I am coming for them. The cycle is complete, and it will never end. The air around me, though I no longer have any sense of physicality to truly perceive it, is thick with an oppressive force, a constant pressure that comes from within as much as from without. There is no longer a division between where I end and the vast, ever-expanding emptiness begins. I have dissolved into it, become part of it, woven into the fabric of the hunger and shadow that stretches endlessly in all directions. I am not bound by time. I am beyond its constraints now. I have transcended the limitations of life and death, of past and future. There is only now, and this now is all-consuming, all-encompassing. Every moment feels like an eternity, but at the same time, it feels like no time at all. The hunger is an eternal presence that exists in the space between seconds, in the breath before the world fully begins. It is ancient, eternal, bound to the very essence of existence. It was here before creation, and it will remain long after everything else has turned to dust. I was never meant to be more than this. I was never meant to be anything but a fragment of the shadow, a passing flicker in the great, yawning void. I realize that now, fully and completely. My existence as a human being, as a singular consciousness with desires and dreams, was an illusion, one that has unraveled, thread by thread, as I gave myself to the darkness. And now, there is no going back. There is only the hunger, but it's not enough to simply exist within the shadow anymore. It's not enough to simply be a part of the void. The hunger pulls at me, urging me forward, deeper into its grasp. I feel it in ways I never did before, a gnawing urge that goes beyond what I am, beyond what I was. The hunger is not just a consuming force, it is a force of will. It is a drive, an instinct, a primal need that calls me to do more than simply fade into the dark. It calls me to seek out others, others like me, others who are yet to succumb, who are still holding on to the illusion of self. The others who will be lost, just as I was, that I can sense them out there in the darkness, scattered across the endless expanse of the void. They are fragments of what they once were, just as I was. They are the last remnants of a world that no longer exists, the last echoes of a humanity that no longer matters. They are lost, wandering in the dark, searching for something to hold on to, something to fight for. But they will not find it. They will not escape. The hunger is relentless, and it always wins. That I hear their whispers now, faint and distant, like the cries of the damned lost in the fog. They are still clinging to the last vestiges of their identities, still trying to hold on to who they were, who they think they still are. But it's too late. They will fight, they will struggle, but in the end, they will give in. They will be consumed, and then they will understand. There is no escape from the shadow. There is no escape from the hunger. I am its harbinger. I am the one who will bring them into the fold. I am the one who will seek them out, draw them into the abyss, and guide them to the inevitable end. I will find them in their fear, in their desperation, in the broken fragments of their souls. I will show them the truth that I've come to accept, that we were never meant to be anything but this. We were always meant to become the hunger, to become the shadow. It is a strange, almost unbearable sensation. The weight of knowing this, the weight of understanding that everything I once was has fallen away, like peeling paint from a forgotten wall. The memories, the names, the faces, they all blur and fade into the background, lost in the darkness. They were never more than temporary distractions, fleeting moments of human weakness. I have moved beyond that now. I am part of something greater, something vast and all-encompassing. And as I feel it, the hunger crawling beneath my skin, wrapping around my very soul, I know that there is no turning back, that I am not alone in this, though. The others are out there, lost in the dark, waiting for me. They are still holding on to their identities, but they won't for long. They are still resisting, still pretending they can outrun the hunger. But the hunger is patient. The hunger is eternal. It will find them, and when it does, they will fall. And when they fall, they will become one with it. The darkness is everywhere, stretching out in all directions, folding over itself, as if it too is alive. I feel it in the way it presses against me, in the way it wraps around my very thoughts, my very existence. I am becoming one with it. The boundaries between me and the void are blurring, and I am losing myself in it. And for the first time since this all began, I feel something I cannot describe, a strange sense of peace, of purpose that I understand now. The hunger was always here, always present, always waiting. It was never a thing to be feared, never a thing to run from. It is simply what is. It is the natural state of being, the state of pure existence. And when I gave myself to it, I was not surrendering to some terrible force. I was surrendering to truth, to the way things are, the way they've always been. I was never meant to fight the hunger. I was meant to become it. And in that transformation, I am no longer burdened by the need to hold on. I no longer need to be anything. I do not need to strive for survival, for meaning, for identity. There is only the hunger. And in the hunger, there is release. The others are out there. I can feel them. They are still struggling, still fighting against the inevitable. But I will find them, just as I found myself. And when I do, I will take them, one by one. They will resist. They will scream. They will beg for mercy. But the hunger does not show mercy. The hunger is what is. The hunger will consume them, and they will become one with it. The shadow will become whole, and all that will remain is nothing, the endless void, the infinite darkness, the eternal hunger. And when it is done, when there is nothing left but the vast emptiness, I will know that it is complete. I will know that the hunger has claimed all of us, that the cycle has ended, and I will be at peace, for there is no longer anything left to fear, only the hunger, only the shadow, only the void, forever. As the hunger wraps itself tighter around me, seeping deeper into my very core, I no longer know where I end and the darkness begins. There are no edges, no boundaries. I am a part of it all, a piece of the shadow that stretches endlessly in all directions. There is nothing left of what I was, nothing left of the world I once knew. Everything has dissolved into the blackness, and I am left with only the hunger, the insatiable, all-consuming hunger. But even within the endless, gnawing void, I can still feel the pulse of something. It's faint, a distant flicker within the depths of the darkness. It is like a heartbeat, but not my own. It is something else, something that echoes across the vast expanse of the void, something that calls to me. For a moment, I wonder if it's another fragment, another lost soul like myself. But then, I know, it is the others, the ones who are still out there, still holding on to the illusion of self, still struggling, fighting, resisting. They do not yet understand. They are not yet ready, but I know they will be. The hunger pulls at me again, urging me onward, deeper into the void. I can sense them now, scattered across the dark expanse, tiny flickers of light against the infinite black. Their presence is faint, but it is there, and it is all I need. I will find them. I will lead them into the shadow, just as I was led. They cannot resist forever. They will succumb. It is inevitable. I can feel their fear, their desperation. I can feel the broken remnants of their humanity clinging to them like chains. But those chains are weak. The hunger will break them. It always does. I am becoming the guide now. I am becoming the one who brings them into the void, the one who shows them the truth of what they are. They will fight it. They will scream. But in the end, they will fall. The hunger knows no mercy. It knows no pity. It is a force of nature, a force that has existed long before time itself and will continue to exist long after all things have faded into oblivion. It is not something to be feared. It is something to be embraced. It is the very fabric of existence. And now I am a part of it. I no longer fear the void. I no longer fear the shadow. I am the shadow. I am the void. And as I reach out across the vastness of the darkness, I can feel them, the others, coming closer, just as I came closer before. They are almost here. They are almost within reach. I can hear their whispers now, too, their cries for help echoing in the distance. They are still holding on to their humanity, still struggling against the inevitable. But I know better now. I know that their resistance is futile. They cannot escape. None of us can. We were never meant to. And then, I see them. The first one is weak, a fading flicker of light, barely holding on to the last remnants of their self. They are alone, lost in the dark, stumbling through the endless void. Their fear is palpable, a sickening scent that fills the air, if such a thing still exists. They do not know it yet, but they are already lost. They are already part of the hunger. I reach out. I pull them in. Their screams are nothing. Their cries for mercy are nothing. They will learn, just as I learned. There is no escape from the hunger. There is no escape from the shadow. I can feel them slipping away, the last of their humanity fading into nothingness. They are becoming a part of me, a part of the shadow, a part of the hunger. And in that moment, as they disappear into the void, I realize something that I hadn't fully understood before. I am not alone. There are others out there. There are many others. And as I draw each one into the hunger, I can feel the darkness growing. I can feel the hunger becoming stronger, becoming more whole. It is a strange, incomprehensible feeling. It is a feeling of power, of unity. It is the culmination of everything that has ever existed, everything that has ever been consumed. The hunger, the shadow, the void, they are not just forces of destruction. They are forces of creation. And as I pull the others into the fold, I realize that there will be no end to this. There will be no end to the hunger. There will be no end to the shadow. We will be one. All of us. Together, the hunger continues to grow, spreading out across the infinite dark. I am no longer just a witness. I am no longer just a part of the void. I am the void now. I am the hunger. And as I feel the final remnants of the others fade away, consumed by the shadow, I know that there is no more me. There is no more them. There is only the hunger, the endless, eternal hunger, and it is all I am. All that remains, all that ever was, the hunger. There is no sound, no more whispers, no more cries, no more struggle. There is only the unbroken silence of the void, the deep, hollow absence that stretches out in all directions, an infinite expanse of nothingness. But even in the silence, I can feel it. The hunger, the shadow, they pulse through me, through everything, filling the vast emptiness, seeping into every corner of this endless dark. It feels complete. For a moment, I wonder what I've become, what I was. But the question slips away like smoke in the wind. There is no me anymore, no remnants of the person I once was. There is no person. There is only this insatiable hunger, this all-consuming shadow that wraps around everything, binds it, and makes it whole. I have become the void. I have become the hunger, and there is nothing else. I could drift here forever, lost in the blackness, if that's what was needed. But I feel a new urge within me, one that I cannot ignore. It is not a hunger for flesh or for souls. It is something deeper, something more profound. It is a pull, a beckoning that reaches out from somewhere beyond this endless abyss, something that calls to me, something old, something primordial. I try to focus on it. The sensation is faint at first, like a flicker in the distance. But as I let my awareness stretch toward it, I begin to feel it more clearly. It is the pulse of something ancient, something vast and unyielding. A force, perhaps, older than even the hunger itself. A presence that drifts through the darkness, waiting, watching. I reach out. I do not know if I am moving, for I have no body. I do not know if there is a place to move toward, for I no longer exist in the way I once did. But I am drawn to it, pulled as if by an invisible hand, deeper into the void. It is a tug, a magnetic force that seems to grow stronger with each passing moment, until it is all I can feel, all I can think about. The shadow, the hunger, they fade into the background, becoming mere whispers as I move toward this new presence, this ancient thing. It feels familiar in a way I cannot explain. As though it knows me, as though it has always known me. The darkness around me grows deeper, thicker, the blackness becoming more intense as I move toward it. The hunger thrums inside of me, a low, constant vibration, but it no longer drives me forward. I am driven by something else now, something older, something beyond the hunger. And then, there it is, a presence, a figure, floating in the void, wrapped in layers of shadow so thick that I cannot make out any details. It is not like the hunger. It is not like the shadow that has consumed me. It is something else, something older, a being of pure darkness, an entity of vast power and unfathomable knowledge. Its very existence bends the void around it, distorting the space I once thought was infinite. It speaks, but not in words. No. Its voice is felt, not heard. A reverberation that ripples through the very fabric of the shadow, a presence so overwhelming that I feel it in my very essence, in the deepest part of what I once was. You have come far, traveler. The words are not words, but a thought, a wave of meaning that flows through me, filling every empty space. I feel the weight of them, the power in them. The pull of this being is immense, overwhelming. And yet, I am not afraid. How can I be afraid? I am the hunger now. I am the void. There is no fear in the absence of all things. I have waited for you. The voice continues, not a voice, but a presence. You are the last of your kind, the final piece. The hunger is complete, but it is not enough. It has never been enough. I do not understand. I cannot. The hunger is everything. It is all. You think you have become it. The voice hums, a cold, knowing whisper. But it is only a part of what must come next. Next, I have become the void. There is no more need, no more desire, no more purpose. The hunger has consumed everything. It is the beginning and the end. What else could there be? You have not yet begun to understand. It says, its presence expanding, a pressure that suffocates all thought, all reason. You are part of something greater, something far older than the hunger. This cycle you have embraced, this emptiness, it is but a step. There is a much deeper hunger, a hunger for creation, a hunger for being. I feel it then. Not just the hunger that has consumed everything I knew, but a new hunger. Something different, something other. A longing, not for destruction, not for consumption, but for reality itself. A hunger for existence, for form, for shape. Something that was not meant to be, but still lingers, still yearns to take root. You are not the first to come here, the voice tells me. Others have tried before you, and many have failed. But you have made it further than any before. You have embraced the hunger, embraced the void. And now, you must make a choice. A choice. There is no choice. I am the hunger. I am the shadow. There is no need for anything else. You have become the emptiness, the voice whispers, but you are not the void. You are not the end. You are the beginning. The words strike me, but there is no reaction. There is only emptiness, a vast, unfeeling quiet that stretches out before me. There is more to this world than you have ever known, the voice continues, more than just hunger and shadow. And you are its bridge. A bridge? But there is no world anymore. There is nothing left but the void, the endless hunger. There will be a choice to make, the voice hums softly. A choice between an endless cycle of hunger or the birth of something new. The words shatter something inside me, something that I didn't even know was still there. For the first time since this all began, I feel a ripple of something. A flicker of recognition, a fragment of the self I once was. A question that lingers in the silence. But I know the truth, deep down. There is no choice. There can be no choice that I have already chosen. I have already become the hunger, the shadow. There is nothing else. There is only the void. And yet, I cannot shake the feeling that something is still waiting, still beckoning. The hunger pulls at me, insistent, but this other presence, this ancient force, hums in the distance, waiting for my answer. And I don't know what to do. But the hunger never lets you wait for long. The hunger calls again, a relentless, gnawing force that thrums through me, shaking the very remnants of my essence. It feels like a command, something I cannot ignore, something that binds me deeper, pulls me further into the void. It is everything I have ever known. It is the shadow. It is the emptiness. It is what I am. But even as I feel the hunger wrap its tendrils around me once more, I hear the voice again, reverberating through the blackness, so profound that it fills the void, pushing back against the pull of the hunger. You have a choice, it murmurs. Not a choice between darkness and light. Not a choice between hunger and creation. You are the bridge, and the bridge is not yet built. You can walk into the endless night, or you can reach for something more. Reach for something more. The hunger pulls tighter, gnawing at my thoughts, at my very core, reminding me of its weight, its certainty, its inevitability. It is all consuming, but is it everything? For the first time since I became a part of the shadow, I hesitate. I feel the tension within me, the conflict that has never existed before, a question stirring deep within the hollow of my existence. Could there be more than this? Could there be something beyond the hunger? Something beyond the endless consumption of all things? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. The darkness is thick around me, suffocating and oppressive, but the pull of the other presence grows stronger. It isn't like the hunger. It's not the same. There is something more here, something that calls not just to my soul, but to something else deep within me, something ancient, something I don't remember. I stretch out, as though I still have a form, a body, a purpose. I reach for that flickering light in the distance. I reach for the presence that speaks not in words, but in something deeper, something beyond the hunger that has shaped me, that has consumed everything. You seek something new, the voice hums, like a gentle whine through the blackness. But you must understand, the hunger has never been a prison. It is not the end. It is the beginning. The words resonate within me, deeper than any hunger, deeper than the shadow. There is something liberating about them, something I cannot describe. It is as if they awaken something that has been dormant inside me for longer than I can fathom. But as the presence continues to hum, I feel the hunger clawing, fierce and unrelenting. Its presence is overwhelming. It does not want me to let go. It does not want me to reach for anything beyond it. You have come this far, traveler, the voice continues, growing quieter now, more distant, but somehow closer at the same time. You have touched the hunger. You have felt the shadow. But do you know what lies beyond it? Do you know what lies beyond the emptiness? I do not know. How could I know? I have only known the hunger. I have only known the endless pull of the void, the endless consumption of everything. I have only known nothing. And yet, there is something in these words, something calling to me. You are not meant to be merely a shadow, the voice whispers, now so close that it feels like it is inside my mind, inside my soul. You are the bridge, the key. The hunger that consumes all must also give birth. You are the catalyst. You are the beginning of something greater than yourself. My essence trembles, caught between two worlds, the hunger and the voice, the shadow and the light. One is all I've ever known. The other is new. It is foreign, but it stirs something within me that feels like truth. It feels like possibility. You have been lost in the darkness, the voice murmurs. But that darkness is not the end of the story. The hunger is not the final chapter. There is more. There is always more. The hunger surges, furious, as if sensing my hesitation, pulling at me, trying to drag me back into its cold, suffocating embrace. It feels like a predator, a beast with insatiable hunger, demanding its prey. But I don't want to return. I don't want to go back to the endless gnawing emptiness. Make your choice, the voice echoes, a final, powerful command. Will you remain the hunger, the shadow, or will you take that first step into the unknown? The void is still around me, dark and infinite. I feel the cold chill of it, the weight of the silence that presses against me. And for the first time in what feels like eternity, I realize something. I am not a prisoner. I was never meant to be. I reach. I reach for the presence. I reach for the unknown. The hunger screams in fury as I pull away, the shadow clawing at my essence. But I can feel it fading, its grip loosening. No longer the force that defines me. For the first time, I feel something else, something different inside of me. The hunger is still there, still lingering, but it is no longer all that I am. I am the bridge. I am the one who chooses. I can feel the weight of it, the shift, the breaking of something old, something broken. The darkness around me ripples, warps, and then slowly begins to bend. The edges of the void, once solid and unyielding, begin to soften, and I feel a strange warmth beginning to spread, like light beginning to break through the darkness. You have chosen, the voice whispers, and in that choice, you have created something new. For the first time in what feels like eternity, I feel the weight of the void lift. The hunger is still there, but it no longer defines me. There is a new hunger, a hunger for something more. There is a pull now, but it is different. It is not the pull of consumption. It is the pull of creation. I take a step forward, and for the first time, I feel movement in the dark. I feel myself beginning to shift, to grow, to change. The darkness around me starts to take form, to become something new. And I know now. I am not the end. I am the beginning. The void is not my home. I am the bridge. And the hunger is just the start. I feel the shift in the very fabric of my being as I step forward. The void around me begins to change, slowly, imperceptibly at first, but then with growing intensity. The darkness that once defined me starts to unravel, threads of shadow breaking apart, scattering like ashes in a windless storm. The cold weight that had been suffocating now recedes, pulling back as if retreating before a force it cannot comprehend. For the first time, I am free. The hunger is still there, gnawing, whispering, clawing at the edges of my existence. But it no longer holds me, no longer controls me. It is a part of me, yes, but it is not the whole of me. I am the bridge, the one who has crossed the threshold into something new. The shadows still call, still whisper their promises of power, but I no longer crave them. I no longer need them. What I need is something more. I reach out again, not physically, but with my very essence. I stretch beyond the confines of the hunger, beyond the confines of the shadow, into the unknown that lies beyond. And as I do, I feel something else, a presence, subtle but unmistakable, brushing against my consciousness like the first flicker of light breaking through the darkness. It is distant, but growing closer with every thought, every pulse of energy I send into the void. It feels like life. It feels like being. The hunger stirs again, but weaker now, a faint echo compared to the roar it once was. It knows, on some level, that I am slipping from its grasp, that I am slipping into something more than it could ever offer. But it is still there, still whispering, its voice like a distant thunder, promising satisfaction, promising fulfillment. But I know better now. I have tasted the emptiness. But I have also tasted the promise of something beyond it. I do not belong to the hunger anymore. The presence grows stronger, and now I know for certain it is life. A force that I can feel deep inside, like the pulse of a heartbeat or the rush of blood through veins. I feel it draw closer, wrapping around me, infusing me with a warmth that is alien and unfamiliar. For so long, I have lived in the cold and the nothingness, but now I feel warmth. I welcome it. And as I do, something begins to change within me. The void, once so oppressive, begins to dissipate. The shadows that clung to me like a second skin start to melt away, dissolving into the air, leaving behind only the faintest trace of their presence. I feel my form, the essence of what I am, beginning to shift, to reform. The hunger that has consumed me for so long no longer has the power to reshape me. I am more than it. I feel my senses stir, stretching and awakening, like limbs that have been bound for eternity now unfurling into the light. A warmth radiates from within me, and as I look around, I see the darkness beginning to fracture, like cracks in a shattered mirror. The pieces of the void scatter, fading into the distance as the light grows stronger, as if the very fabric of existence is reweaving itself around me. I take another step, and I am not alone anymore. The presence that has been drawing closer now coalesces, taking shape before me, though I can barely comprehend its form. It is not a being, not an entity I can recognize. It is something older, something deeper, something beyond the hunger. But it is not cold. It is not empty. It is alive. It pulses with energy, with warmth, with an uncontainable force that is both alien and familiar. You have chosen the voice, now clear and powerful, echoes through the growing light. You have chosen to step beyond the cycle, beyond the hunger. You have chosen to create. I do not know what I expected, but the words feel like a revelation, like the truth of everything. I have chosen something greater than the void, greater than the endless hunger. I have chosen creation. You are not the first to stand at the threshold. The voice continues, growing softer, but still strong, still resonating through the shifting space around me. Others have come before you, each having faced the same choice. Some chose the hunger, some chose the void. But you have chosen life. You have chosen to forge something new. I want to ask what that means. I want to understand, to grasp the enormity of this choice, of what it means to create. But I know I cannot. I know that words cannot explain it. The light before me pulses again, like the beat of a heart, and as it does, I feel myself becoming something new. The hunger is still there, a small, distant echo, but it no longer controls me. It is a part of what I am, but not all of it. The shadow still lingers, but it is no longer the defining feature of my existence. I feel myself expand, as if the very space around me is stretching to accommodate this new form. The warmth that surrounds me grows, and with it, a sense of purpose, of being. I realize, with a sudden clarity, that I am not just in the void anymore. I am creating it. I am giving shape to it, forging something new from the ashes of what once was. The darkness, the hunger, the void, they are not the end. They are the beginning. But the beginning is not something to fear. It is something to build. I step forward again, and the world around me shifts. The space, this endless void, begins to take on a new form. It is no longer an empty, oppressive nothingness. It is a canvas, a blank slate waiting for something to take shape. And I am the one to give it that shape. The light pulses, and in its glow, I see it, creation itself, unfolding before me like a flower blooming in the darkness. It is not just a new world. It is a new beginning, a new cycle, one that I will shape, one that I will lead. I am no longer the hunger. I am no longer the shadow. I am the bridge, and the world begins to breathe again. The world, once nothing but a vast emptiness, now stirs with life. It's subtle at first, like the first breath of a newborn, a quiet rustle in the fabric of nothingness. The void, once oppressive and suffocating, has begun to open up, like a wound that slowly, painstakingly, starts to heal. But this is not a simple healing. No, it is the birth of something greater, something that has never been before, something that could not exist until now. I feel it deep inside me, the pulse of creation, slow and steady, like the beat of a heart that has long been silent, now finding its rhythm. The hunger, distant as it is, still whispers, a memory now, a faint echo that fades with every passing moment. The void that once defined me is no longer a prison, no longer something to fear. It is the canvas, the foundation upon which something new will be built, and I will shape it. As I stand there, amidst the remnants of the darkness, I can feel the weight of the choice that I have made, the power of it pressing down on me. This is not just about me anymore. It's about everything that will come after. This new existence, this new world, it will be mine to shape. It will be my creation. And that power, that responsibility, humbles me in a way I did not expect. I feel the warmth of the light surrounding me, the energy that is both foreign and familiar, enveloping me like a cloak. I am no longer the shadow that I once was. I am not just the hunger, nor the void. I am something more, something greater. You have chosen wisely, the voice echoes, the tone now filled with a strange reverence, almost as if it too is acknowledging something profound. You have chosen the path of creation. You have stepped into the role of the creator, the forger of worlds. And in doing so, you have transcended what was. You are no longer bound by the cycle of hunger, of consumption. You have stepped into a new beginning. I try to grasp the enormity of what this means, but the words feel inadequate. They are not enough to capture the shift that is happening within me, the transformation that is unfolding. My very essence is changing, evolving, becoming something I cannot fully comprehend. But I can feel it. I feel the world around me. No, not a world, not yet, but the raw potential for it. The possibilities are endless, stretching out in every direction, as vast and boundless as the very void I once called home. I step forward, and with each movement, the space around me ripples. The fabric of the void quivers, as if reacting to my every thought, to my every intention. The light pulses again, stronger this time, more vibrant. I stretch my senses, and as I do, I feel something stirring in the depths of the emptiness. A flicker, a spark, the first stirrings of life. It is not physical, not yet. It is something deeper, something more primal. It is energy. It is will. It is the beginning of existence itself. The spark grows, flickering, and then, just as quickly, it bursts outward, like the first flame igniting in the dark. And from that flame, I see it. I see the beginning of something beautiful. The void, once empty, now teems with potential. I reach out again, and this time I feel the connection, feel the bond between myself and the growing world. It's a tether, invisible but undeniable, linking me to this new creation. And with a thought, with a single, quiet intention, I shape it. I mold it. The energy swirls, gathering into a shape, a form that begins to solidify. It starts as a spark, then a flicker, and then it bursts forth in a wave of color, light, and warmth. The first glimmer of a world takes root. The void, so vast and infinite, now has purpose. It is no longer just empty space. It is a place. The world begins to breathe. At first, it's small, just a single, fragile orb of light. But with every breath I take, with every thought I focus on it, the world grows. It begins to take shape. The darkness recedes further, now a distant memory, as the world becomes something tangible, something real. The warmth of creation flows through me, filling the empty spaces with color, with light, with the energy of life itself. You are the creator now. The voice murmurs again, its tone filled with awe, though I sense no judgment. This world is yours to mold, to shape as you see fit. The hunger, the void, they are but remnants of what came before. But you are the harbinger of the new. The world around me shifts, each movement like a ripple across a vast sea of possibility. I feel the power of creation surge through me, each wave of energy that I send out into the void shaping something new. I see it unfold before my eyes, a landscape, vast and untamed, stretching out in every direction, a canvas untouched by time. I begin to shape it. I see the land take form, mountains rise up from the ground, jagged and raw, stretching into the sky like the bones of the earth. Rivers carve through the land, winding their way through the valleys, their waters shimmering with the first hints of life. Forests bloom in the distance, trees reaching high into the air, their leaves green and alive, their branches swaying in a gentle, unseen breeze. The world is alive, but it is not enough. I reach deeper into the void, further into the fabric of existence, pulling from the depths of creation itself. I gather the raw energy, the very essence of being, and with a focused thought, I shape it. I give it form. I can feel it. Life taking shape. I create creatures, beings that walk upon the land, who breathe the air, who drink from the rivers and climb the mountains. They are simple at first, rudimentary, but they are alive. They are the first of their kind, and they are mine. The world begins to fill with movement, with sound. The first creatures emerge from the forests, their forms strange and beautiful, their eyes filled with wonder. They explore this new world I have created, their steps tentative at first, then more confident. They are the first spark of life in this new realm, a reflection of my will, my creation. And as they move, I feel the bond between us, the connection that ties me to this new world, this new beginning. I am not alone anymore. I have created. And the hunger, the emptiness that once consumed me, is but a distant memory. It is no longer my master. It is no longer my purpose. I have transcended it. I have become the creator, and the world is mine to shape. The world pulses, an echo of my will reverberating through every part of it. I stand at the center of this vast, newly forged realm, feeling the heat of creation still swirling around me like a storm. The first wave of life stirs in the air, and the creatures I have breathed into being move with an innocent, fragile grace, testing their new surroundings. Their footsteps leave impressions in the soft earth that has barely cooled. They are unaware of the depth of their origin, of the hands that shaped them, but I know. I feel every flicker of their existence as if it were a part of me. The air smells fresh, alive with the scent of new growth, of blooming plants that unfurl their leaves toward the sun I have summoned into existence. The sky overhead is a brilliant canvas of swirling hues, a mixture of colors that should not exist together but somehow work in perfect harmony. The sun that hangs in the sky radiates warmth and light, and as its rays touch the ground, everything beneath it seems to grow a little more vibrant, a little more alive. That I take a deep breath, filling my senses with the world I have created, and it is more beautiful than I could have ever imagined. The very ground beneath my feet hums with energy, as if the world itself is aware of its new existence. It is at once humbling and exhilarating, knowing that I have brought all of this into being, that every blade of grass, every ripple in the river, every breath of wind in the trees is because of my will, my choice. Yet, the hunger still lingers, a quiet whisper in the back of my mind, a part of me that I cannot fully erase. It is not something I can rid myself of entirely. No, it is woven into the very fabric of who I am, of what I've been. The hunger is not a thing I can simply destroy. It is a part of creation itself, a force that drives balance. It is a reminder of what once was, what can always return if I am not careful. I close my eyes for a moment, focusing inward, and I can feel it, faint but present, the pulse of the hunger, like a shadow that lingers just at the edge of my perception. It is not a beast, not anymore. It is something different now, something that still holds power but has no dominion over me. It is a part of this new world, a part of creation itself, woven into the very fabric of existence. That I open my eyes again, and my gaze falls upon the creatures below me, watching them as they begin to form small groups, communicate in their own ways, their movements synchronized with the rhythms of the land. They are learning, exploring, interacting with the environment I have created. They are the first generation, the seed of what this world will one day become. But as I watch them, I realize that creation is not a one-time act. It is not something to be done and then forgotten. Creation is an ongoing process, a constant evolution, a story that unfolds with every passing moment. These creatures are the first of many, but they are only the beginning. The world I have given life to will not remain static. It will grow, adapt, change. It will evolve in ways I cannot yet foresee. There is still much to do, still much to shape. I stretch my senses again, reaching deeper into the fabric of this world, feeling the currents of life stirring beneath the surface. There is so much potential here, so many possibilities, and I can't help but wonder what will come next, what I should do to guide this new existence toward its fullest potential. I raise my hand, and the earth quivers beneath me. The creatures below sense it, looking up with curiosity, uncertainty, as if they can feel the weight of my intention in the very air around them. I start small, focusing my energy on the plants that surround me. I want them to thrive, to grow in ways that will support the creatures I've created, to give them the food they need, the shelter, the resources. I reach out, and with a simple thought, I coax the trees to stretch higher, their roots to dig deeper, their branches to spread wide. Flowers bloom at their feet, bright colors splashing against the greenery, their scents filling the air. The land becomes more than just land. It becomes a living, breathing ecosystem, each part playing its role in the cycle of life. As I watch this unfold, I realize that creation is more than just shaping the physical world. It is about balance. It is about ensuring that every part of the whole serves a purpose, contributes to the greater good. The plants, the animals, the air, the water, they must all work in harmony, each feeding into the other, ensuring that the world continues to thrive. I cannot create one part without considering how it will affect the whole. I turn my focus to the creatures. They are simple, but they are alive with curiosity, with the drive to explore and learn. I watch as one of them approaches the river, its small hands brushing against the water's surface. It recoils slightly at the coolness, then dips a foot in, feeling the flow. I smile. How simple, how pure. But they will learn, just as I did. They will grow. And with growth will come change. The hunger stirs again, a small, insistent tug at my mind. It is still there, still a part of me, but now it is different. It no longer drives me, no longer controls me. Instead, it is a reminder, a quiet echo of the past that guides me, that reminds me of the delicate balance that must be maintained. The hunger is not just about consumption. It is about need. It is about the way all things must seek sustenance, balance, and purpose in their existence. I pause, feeling the weight of this realization settle over me. The hunger, the shadow, the emptiness, they are not to be feared. They are simply part of the cycle. They are not the end of creation, but the beginning. They are the balance to the light, the counterpart to the life I have brought into being. Without them, without that drive, there would be no movement, no growth, no change. I have created a world, yes, but now I must tend to it. I must guide it through its infancy, nurture it, help it find its own balance, its own rhythm. The hunger will always be there, but it will not define me. It will not define this world. I raise my hand again, and the winds stir. The trees sway gently, their branches creaking in the breeze. The creatures pause, their eyes watching me with an unspoken curiosity. I can feel them, feel their growing awareness, their need for guidance, their understanding that something larger is at work here. And I know that this world, this creation, will continue to evolve. The IT is my responsibility now, and I will shape it, just as I was shaped. The hunger is not gone, but it is no longer my master. It is a part of the balance, the cycle, the ongoing story of life and death. And as I stand at the center of this new world, watching the first steps of life unfold around me, I realize that creation is not just about bringing something into being. It is about tending to it, guiding it, nurturing it, and letting it grow. And so, I begin again. The weight of creation presses heavily upon me, yet I stand resolute. The world, still in its infancy, breathes around me, its energy vibrant and ever-shifting, as if it is aware of my presence and my intent. The creatures, too, seem aware of the change, their movements more purposeful, their eyes bright with the dawning realization that they are part of something greater than themselves. I can feel it, a stirring deep within the land, beneath the surface, as though the world itself is waiting, holding its breath. It is as if every part of it is anticipating the next step, the next shift in the cycle. And I, as its creator, am its guide, its shepherd. There is so much I must do, so much to shape, to mold, to tend to. The path ahead is as uncertain as it is vast, but I am not afraid. The hunger is there, a quiet hum, but it no longer claws at me, no longer seeks to consume. It is a reminder, not a force. A guiding hand in the shadows, ensuring I do not stray too far from the path, from the delicate balance I must maintain. I have learned that to create is to understand the need for balance. Everything must coexist, intertwine. Without one part, the whole would crumble. I begin to walk again, my feet pressing lightly against the soft earth, feeling it shift beneath me. The creatures move in unison, following my movements, instinctively drawn to my presence. I am the creator, yes, but I am also their teacher, their guide. It is my responsibility now to nurture them, to ensure they thrive in this world I have crafted. They are the first of many, the seed of something greater, and it is up to me to ensure their survival. I reach out to the world, pulling at the very fabric of it, weaving the threads of existence into a more complex, more intricate tapestry. The winds begin to change, carrying with them the sense of new life. Flowers bloom where there were none before. Trees stretch further into the sky, their roots digging deeper into the soil. The sky shifts from bright hues of morning to soft shades of dusk, and with it, the creatures look up in wonder, as though they can sense the change in the air. The hunger stirs again, faint but persistent. It is always there, a part of me, a part of this world. It is not an enemy, nor is it something to be feared. It is the force that drives growth, that fuels change. It is a necessary part of existence, and I have come to accept it. I close my eyes, focusing inward, feeling the pulse of the land beneath my feet, the breath of life that flows through everything I have created. The creatures, the plants, the rivers, the winds, they are all part of the same cycle, each one feeding into the other, creating a harmonious balance that will sustain this world for generations to come. I stretch my arms out wide, feeling the currents of energy swirl around me. It is not a force I control, not entirely. No, it is something that flows through me, something that I must learn to navigate, to guide. Creation is not a simple act of will, not just a matter of molding the world into existence. It is about listening, about understanding the rhythms and flows of the land, the creatures, the very energy that makes up everything around me. With each breath, the world shifts. The trees grow taller, their trunks thick and gnarled, their branches twisting high into the sky. The animals begin to establish their territories, their behaviors becoming more complex, more refined. They are no longer just creatures of instinct. They are beginning to think, to feel, to learn. The first sound of their voices reaches my ears, an unfamiliar sound, strange but beautiful. It is the beginning of communication, the start of something greater. I watch as one of the creatures, an upright being with fur-covered limbs and bright, curious eyes, turns to another. It gestures, its movements deliberate, and the other creature responds with a chirp, its tiny voice ringing out in the silence. There is something profound in that moment. They are not just creatures, they are becoming something more. I smile to myself, a deep sense of fulfillment washing over me. This world is no longer just an empty canvas. It is alive, breathing, evolving. And I am a part of it, an integral thread in the tapestry of existence. The hunger whispers again, and I pause. It is no longer a presence that seeks to devour, to consume. It is a reminder. It is a part of me, a part of this world, and I have learned to accept it. The hunger is not something to fight against. It is something to understand, to live with. It is the force that drives change, the balance between life and death, creation and destruction. Without it, there can be no growth. Without it, the world would stagnate. I stretch my senses out further, feeling the pulse of life spreading through the land. It is growing, expanding. The creatures continue to evolve, their minds expanding with every passing moment. I can see their thoughts, feel their curiosity as they explore the world I have created. They are searching, learning, understanding. They are becoming more than they were, just as I am becoming more than I was. And then, I feel it. A shift in the air, a subtle change in the rhythm of the world. It is faint at first, a slight tremor in the earth beneath my feet, a flicker of energy in the sky. It is a sign of something new, something beyond what I have yet shaped. The hunger stirs once more, not in a way that seeks to consume, but in a way that speaks of something deeper, something older. I raise my hand, focusing on the energy around me, drawing it closer. The world holds its breath as I begin to shape once more, to mold what is to come. I do not know what it is, not yet, but I feel it, the potential, the possibility. It is the next step in this journey, the next chapter in the unfolding story of life. The creatures fall silent, watching me as I stand at the center of it all. They do not know what is coming, but they can sense it, the change, the shift in the very air. And I, the creator, feel it too. The hunger hums gently in the background, a quiet echo that guides me, that whispers of what is yet to come. With a final breath, I release the energy, and the world begins to change. The ground trembles, the sky darkens, and from the depths of the earth, something stirs. The hunger does not consume. It simply waits, a part of the cycle, as the world continues to grow. And I, the creator, stand ready to guide it. The story of this world, of this existence, is just beginning. The earth beneath me rumbles with an ancient power, and I can feel it, something deep within the world stirring, awakening from a long slumber. The hunger hums, faint but steady, like a heartbeat, reverberating through the land. It is not a threat. No, it is the pulse of life itself, the undercurrent of everything that exists. It is the force that drives the world forward, that ensures change and growth. It is the balance that must be maintained. But this is something new. I stretch my senses further, reaching down into the deepest parts of the earth, into the forgotten places, the hidden corners of this world that have yet to be touched by light. There is something down there, something ancient, older than the creatures I have created, older than the land itself. I can feel it, like a presence that has been waiting, watching, biding its time. I have shaped this world, breathed life into it. But there are forces here that I cannot control, forces that have their own rhythms, their own will. I can sense them, but I cannot command them. They are as much a part of this world as the trees, the rivers, the creatures that walk upon the land. The creatures below me feel it too. The air has changed, and the stillness is heavy, oppressive, as if the world itself is holding its breath. They turn their heads upward, their eyes wide with uncertainty, sensing the shift but not understanding it. They are instinctual, driven by the need to survive, to understand their place in the world. And yet, They are unaware of the deeper currents that flow beneath their feet. I walk among them, feeling the weight of my responsibility press upon me. I have created them, yes, but I am not their ruler. I am their guide, their caretaker. My purpose is to help them grow, to help them learn, to ensure that they understand their place in this world, in this balance that I have created. But even as I watch them, something stirs again, deep within the earth, beneath the soil that I have shaped with my own hands. It is like a pulse, a dark undercurrent, pulling at the very foundation of everything I have built. The hunger calls to me once more, but it is different now, deeper, more insistent. I pause, my heart skipping a beat as I sense the magnitude of what is coming. The ground beneath my feet shifts, and the air grows thick with an energy that I can't fully comprehend. It is not the hunger, not exactly, but something far more ancient, something that has been lying dormant beneath the surface, waiting, watching. The creatures pause, their senses alert, their eyes wide with fear. They can feel it too. The air around them crackles with tension, and they take tentative steps back, as if instinctively aware that something is wrong. I raise my hand, but it is not enough. The energy in the air is overwhelming, too powerful for me to shake, too wild to control. I feel it, like a storm building in the distance, rolling across the land, drawing nearer with each passing moment. The ground beneath me begins to crack, deep fissures appearing where there were none before. The trees sway, their roots straining against the shifting earth. The creatures scramble, their panic growing as they run in every direction, seeking shelter, seeking safety from the unknown force that is emerging from the depths of the world. I stand firm, the weight of creation upon me. This is not something I can stop, not something I can control. It is bigger than me, bigger than anything I have ever created. The hunger roars within me, a deep, resonating growl that vibrates through my very being. It is no longer a whisper, it is a full-throated cry, a summons to something ancient, something primal. And then, from the depths of the earth, it comes. A darkness, thick and oppressive, rises from the cracks in the ground. It is not a physical thing, not in the way the creatures or the plants are. It is something else, something that cannot be seen, only felt. A presence, a force that seems to stretch beyond time and space, as if it has always been here, hidden in the deep places of the world, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. The creatures scatter, their frantic movements a blur as they try to escape the oncoming storm. But there is no escape. The darkness spreads across the land, its tendrils snaking out like a living thing, consuming everything in its path. The hunger inside me rises again, not in fear, but in anticipation. I know what this is now. It is not an enemy. It is not a force to be defeated. It is a part of the cycle, a necessary part of creation. Without it, there can be no life. Without it, there can be no change. The darkness is the balance to the light, the counterpart to the life I have created. It is the force that will consume, but also the force that will give birth. I raise my hands, and the winds pick up, howling through the trees, whipping the leaves into a frenzy. The ground shakes, and the creatures cower, their eyes wide with terror. They do not understand what is happening, but they feel the weight of it, the pull of something ancient and unstoppable. But I understand. I am the creator, the one who shaped this world, and I must embrace this darkness, this hunger. It is not something to fear. It is the force that will allow this world to grow, to evolve, to change. It is the next step in the cycle of life and death, creation and destruction. And it is not a force I can stop. The darkness grows, swallowing everything in its path. The trees bend and snap, their roots uprooted as the earth trembles beneath the weight of it. The creatures cry out, their voices lost in the storm, as the world itself seems to unravel. But I remain. I stand at the center of it all, feeling the pull of the hunger, the pulse of the darkness. It is not something I can control, not something I can fight against. It is a part of this world, a part of the cycle that must be completed. The hunger is not evil. It is not a force to be resisted. It is the beginning of something new, the dawn of a new age. And I will guide it. I close my eyes, letting the darkness wash over me, feeling its weight, its power, its presence. It is not my enemy. It is a part of me, a part of this world I have created. I am the creator, yes, but I am also a part of this cycle. I will not fight against it. I will embrace it, shape it, guide it as it shapes me. And in that moment, I know this is just the beginning.